Well, good morning, YouGarden viewers. Thank you so much for tuning in on this lovely Sunday morning. Adam has come to join us at the potting shed.
How are you doing?
Hello, sweetheart.
Good
How
to see you as
you?
always. I'm good. You good?
Yeah.
Good stuff.
I'm always
good stuff.
good when I'm in the potting shed. So it's me and Adam, and we've got Jake actually directing today because Stu's off doing something else. But we're all here for you. We're all here to answer any questions, show you some amazing plants, and more importantly, bring you some fantastic deals. And that's what we have here at YouGarden. If you're watching YouGarden, it means that you are going to get some amazing plants. But the best thing is we've got some fantastic prices. We've got an amazing deal on bulbs at the moment. They're not all bulbs technically, but you're going to treat them all the same anyway. We're talking about summer flowering, where it's a buy. You get 3 for the price of 2. There we go. It's just got my brain into gear. 3 for the price of 2. So you're going to choose whichever 3 you want. It could be 3 of the same variety. It could be 3 different varieties. Put all 3 in your basket. Enter that code that you can see on the screen right there, YGTV0625. One of those bags is going to be free. And there's some really good ones. There's some really sort of tropical, amazing, weird, wonderful varieties. But then also some like stalwarts, favourites.
Yeah, we've got some really, really good mixes today. Again, that's the great thing, Bex. We don't do those lazy mixes, do we? We bring you some really nice, interesting. We've got that ranunculus, for example, gorgeous ranunculus that are just really early flowering and different and unusual. We'll show you, they're beautiful.
Yeah, so we've got those, we've got savings, we've got all sorts of things going on. So we've got stuff you should be doing in your garden right now, things that are going to look good in your garden at this time of year as well. We've got perennial plants, we've got so much, so please stick around. We're here for the next 3 hours. We've also got an amazing discount club. I know regulars, you know about this already, but this makes your shopping at YGTV even more exciting, because by joining our discount club, which costs you just £10 per year, that's it, just £10 one-off cost, you will then get all of these benefits. 15% discount off the things in the potting shed, actually the website as well. It used to be 10, we've upped it to 15%, and that's on top of the discounts that we're already giving you as well. So you really are going to build up those savings. You're going to get £20 in vouchers to spend. They're split down into £5 vouchers. Top tip is you can spend them all in one day if you want. You must use them on separate orders, but you can use them all in one day. So the start date isn't necessarily important. You must check the end date on each of those vouchers. They have to be spent before the end date. But if you want to, you can spend them all in one day. Plus, as an extra benefit in the club, we've also added in a couple of postage vouchers there as well. So they're worth £6.99 each. You could be getting free postage. Great if you want to shop the website, because the free postage, which is the next thing I need to tell you about, the free postage on all orders applies to everything in the potting shed. Now, it used to be you had to get your basket to over £40. You don't have to do that anymore. You don't have to build that basket. You can come in and buy one thing from what we bring you in the potting shed, and you will get that free postage. If you're shopping the rest of the website, I'm sorry, there is a postage cost to pay, but you could use your vouchers once you get them to get that free postage. That's why shopping, not just at YouGarden, but YouGarden TV is the best way to get the best discounts. So big thank you to all of you. Look, there is loads and things you can look. I want you to get ahead. Can you see where it says YGTV? Gardening for everyone. If you click into there, that will bring up all of the items that we have selected for the show today. That's where you can scroll down, you can see all of those items. You could see I think it's 8 or 9 different bulb packs that we've got, where we've got the 3 for 2 offer. Yeah, if we keep scrolling, keep going, you'll come down to them. So we've got, strawberry Cambridge favourite, we've got our potatoes coming, we've got that amazing hydrangea, we've got some beautiful roses, a climbing one.
Yeah, look at that, a new dawn as well. I mean, one of the classic climbing roses, gorgeous, sweet fragrance, and a climber that doesn't go too mad as well. It's easy, good for a small garden even.
Other climbing plants, we've got the star jasmine, we've got the Solia heterophilia, we've got a lovely triple pack of pampas. We won't be featuring those during our hours today, but if you want to go and have a little look at all the things we've got on the website, you are welcome to. And look, that's where the 3 for 2 offer begins. So you've got Glamorous Gladiola, Tuberosa, the Dahlias aren't in there. There's a few different things you've got in there anyway. All the ranunculus, the hedychium, the ginger lily. Just go through and have a little selection and make sure you're adding everything into your basket that you want. Right, I've covered all of the I always say it's the boring stuff, but it's not the boring stuff, is it? It's the interesting stuff. That's what makes this an amazing place to shop, because those are all the key bits and pieces.
Yeah, and it's like also, I mean, with that sort of club membership as well, you know, the thing about that, you know, is once you paid that 10 quid...
Yeah, that's it.
That's it, and it won't go up.
No.
You know, that's what's amazing. It's year after year after year, it's going to stay.
You lock in the price you pay for the club membership. So if and when, unfortunately, prices do go up, we put that price up, you will only ever pay that £10, which is brilliant.
It's phenomenal. Yeah, brilliant.
Right, let's get into it then, shall we? Because we really want to start talking about plants. That's why we're all here. And this is our favourites table. For anybody that's new to us, hasn't watched before, what we do is we have our favourites table. We start off on a Thursday when we do our first show of the week, and we pick what we think is going to be your favourites, and then you basically vote with your pockets, with your purses, with what you buy on a Thursday, and then we adjust it based on that. Helleborus, I'm pretty sure these were here on Thursday, and they have remained on the favourites table. And when you see these beautiful Helleborus, you can see why these are an absolute favourite, can't you?
You can, and I tell you what, on TikTok this week, Bex, I've had so many people ask me for a winter flowering perennial.
Have you?
And also one for a shadier or north-facing position.
Good point, yes.
Yeah, and Helleborus are just one of those fantastic plants. I mean, we're only in the first half of February. It's a pretty brutal time of year, but look how stunningly beautiful these flowers are. These haven't been brought on early. This is what your Helleborus will be doing right now in your garden. They've already started flowering. They're going to flower for a good number of weeks yet. They've got beautiful foliage pretty much all the year through. There's always some evergreen leaf on there. And actually, they seed about as well. So, root system. He's really struggling to get out of the pot there. I
knew it was going to be rooty because I was having to wiggle it a bit.
I mean, look how beautiful they are. So, if you want a late winter to early spring flowering perennial, it's bone hardy, that will grow in a sunny position, that will grow in a really shady position, that will grow underneath other plants, that will come back year after year after year, that will seed about, that will gradually form a bigger clump with these stunningly beautiful, almost decoupage kind of flowers.
Oh, they're gorgeous.
Please go for the Ellen Red. I'd have called it Ellen Purple, but there you go.
Yeah, it's definitely. I mean, it's actually a lovely colour tone that you've got in there, isn't it? Obviously, it's not a red, it's not a full purple. There's this. I always think it looks quite vintage in its coloration.
It does.
And it's got these lovely little sort of green bits coming through the petals there as well, and those scented. I mean, there's just something absolutely magical about Helleborus, isn't there? 560968 is the item number if you want to go for those. We have got a £13 saving on there, bringing that price down to £16.97. But of course, club members, you're going to take 15% off that, which means you get the price in yellow, the £14.42 for all three of those. Now, you don't need, I mean, it depends on the size of your garden. You don't necessarily need to multi-order here. Three will do a really nice job because they will multiply. But obviously, if you want to spread these around your garden, you've got a large area, you can multi-order if you want to.
Definitely, and these are fantastic for pots as well. If you want to grow these in pots or containers or anything like that, they're absolutely brilliant. Just one quick tip before we move on this time of year, what you can do with Helleborus, just before they start flowering, a couple of weeks before, you'll just start to see the little flower spikes come up. At that point, cut away the old leaves from the previous year. So take all the old leaves away. That way the flower spikes come up and you can see the flowers sort of unimpeded by the old leaves.
Oh, nice, yeah.
And then they'll send up nice fresh leaves in the spring.
Very good. This is why you're here, because you may have loads of gardening knowledge already and you might just have come in to get some fantastic deals, but maybe you need some help. Maybe you're brand new to gardening, and that's what we're here for. We're here to give you any help and advice that you might want. We try and give you all of the information whilst we're talking about the plants, but if you want to know anything in particular, you are welcome to join the chat. We've got the YouTube chat open. It's on the iPad, which I've left over there. I will check it, I promise. Jake, are you looking at the Facebook one? Jake is having a look at the Facebook one for us as well. So if you want to message on Facebook, David is on there, Rhiannon is on there as well, Kelly, Dingo, good morning to you all. If you've got any questions or there's anything you want to see in particular, give us a shout and we'll try and do that for you. But if you also want to send us any emails, you're also welcome to do that. We have an email address, ygtv@yougarden.com. Those emails come through to me on the iPad and I'll be able to then field any questions, answer any questions, ask Adam if I don't know, or share any of your pictures. Alison, I saw your email has come through already. You're always very good at sending us a few pictures. And we love seeing what's going on in your gardens. I mean, we're all just nosy, aren't we? We're nosy gardeners and we get inspiration from your gardens as well. So do share your pictures with us.
And sometimes we learn things as well, because sometimes we say, oh, that plant's always good for shade. And then sometimes you'll send us a picture and it will be in quite a bright position. You think, oh, there you go.
There you go.
Who knew? You can grow that in a slightly bright position. It's always a learning curve, isn't it?
It is always.
gardening.
It always is. That's why we love it so much. Okay, so that's the Helleborus. Remember, it's 3 of those 9cm pots. I sort of held up 1 for you. They're really well growing as well. Like, those are nice and big there. Got some really, really good ones. So you will get all 3 of those. 560968 is the item number, and you're getting that £13 saving plus an extra 15% if you are in the discount club.
And they would be £7.99 in that garden centre that lives near me each.
Would they?
Yeah, I'm sure they would.
Especially the size they are.
Yeah, I can see them being at least £8 each, like, you know, in some garden centres.
One of my faves coming up next then.
Yes.
And you've got this as well. You've got a massive clump of these.
Yeah,
I remember you showing us a picture.
Yeah, I've got 3 big clumps of these, and they all started off from one plant like this. I mean, literally started off in a 9cm pot, and these spread. I mean, if you plant these in a happy place, wow, in a couple of 2 or 3 years, you'll go from like a 9cm plant to a clump, you know, a couple of foot across. I mean, they really do spread out. And it's got to the point this year where one of the clumps I'm going to leave because it's grown up around the base of a shrub that I really like. The other 2 clumps I'm going to lift, I'm going to sort of separate, and I'm going to spread them out in other parts of the garden. But if you want an absolutely stunning perennial that is going to flower for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks, mine normally start flowering probably from almost the middle to the second half of summer. That's when they really kick in, and they keep flowering all the way right up until I've had them flowering September, October. Really, really late into the season.
Yeah, this is what I love about Rudbeckia is the fact that they are late flowering. You know, they come in at sort of end of summertime to August time, but actually they keep going into September, into October. Mine look amazing at the moment because they've all faded, and I left all the flower heads on, and I really enjoy them over the winter time as well. But I just love the bright yellow colour and the way that these are going to spread in your garden. Jake, can you see my phone? Could I share this picture? Or I've got 2 pictures to share with the viewers here, just because I like showing off my own garden as well. But this, for example, is the one Rudbeckia that I planted, and the date on my photograph here is the 4th of September 2023. So that was one. I planted it earlier on in the season. That's what it grew into. So one plant, I can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 of those flowers on there.
And you can look at the base. Was that a 9cm one?
It was a 9cm, yeah.
And look at the base one. You can already see it starting to spread out.
Absolutely.
And so,
well, let me show you the comparison. So bear in mind, 4th of September 2023. You're going to have to come back to me, Jake. Or go for it, play it. There you go. Yeah, that's the next one. And that would have been filmed August 2024.
That's the same plant.
So it's the same plant. And you can see, can't you, how much that has grown.
Yep.
Look how many flowers are open, but check out how many buds there are. I reckon it's doubled the amount of flowers in the 1 year.
Easily. And, you know, they are absolutely stunning. I always used to say that I didn't like yellow, red or orange flowers, and I never ever wanted those colours in my garden. Like Bex, I planted a couple of clumps of these, as I say, 3 clumps of these about 3 or 4 years back, and oh my goodness me, I adore them now. I mean, they're just to the right of my patio, and they form this huge, great big clump, and they don't need staking, which is great. They pretty much self-support themselves. And once they're in their happy place, just year after year after year, they'll get bigger and bigger. They flower for month and month, and then the pollinating insects adore them. They really brighten up the garden. They're bone hardy. In fact, these will have our lifetime guarantee.
They will.
The little snowflake symbol.
Winter hardy plants. Anything that's winter hardy, you'll find a little snowflake symbol on the item page when you're on the website. Winter hardy means you've got that lifetime guarantee. So if it fails to thrive at any point, you can get in touch. We'll replace it free of charge. All you have to do is cover any postage costs to get it out to you. So as long as we still stock it, we will replace that for you. And I'm sure if we didn't, we would offer some kind of alternative. Now, I just want to show you how they come to you, because I don't want anybody to go, hang on a minute, what's that? This is what they look like, okay? So they are sort of herbaceous is what we would describe them as. I mean, they don't completely die off, actually. The faded flower heads look amazing over winter, but really the fresh foliage starts new every year, doesn't it?
Yeah, exactly, because as you say, they're herbaceous perennials, so that means they die down to ground level in the autumn. The root system sits quietly under the soil throughout the winter, and just
but it multiplies underground.
Oh yeah, it does.
It?
Yeah, it almost kind of sends out little runners, and then it comes up in a bigger and bigger clump year on year. But yeah, they're just absolutely stunning, easy to grow. And we're going to talk about the red hot poker next, but you can actually probably grow the red hot poker and the Rudbeckia in the same kind of area.
I completely agree. Yeah, look, we're just showing you, there's the winter hardy symbol. I love that, those key features. I really like that at a glance. It gives you an idea of the entire, you know, what it is, what it does.
AGM as well, they're Bex as well,
yeah,
from
absolutely.
the RHS.
How big it will grow, the fact that it's wildlife friendly, you know, it needs a sunny position. Actually, having said that, mine's in the more slightly shady border and it's absolutely fine there. So it doesn't necessarily need a full sun position at all. Mine does great in the, so it's in the slightly shadier one, doesn't get much sun until, in the summertime, probably till about 2-3 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah, that's fine, as long as they get a little bit of sunshine. I mean, they won't do well in sort of deep shade, but yeah, sort of as long as they get some sunshine, and as long as the soil's quite nicely well drained. They don't like really heavy, wet, boggy soils, but yeah, other than that, they're really easy.
All right, so it's 560076 for that one. You are going to get the 3 9cm pots, and it is a massive £15 saving on there. So it brings the price down. Actually, it's a half price deal, isn't it? Because it should be nearly 30 and it's just under 15. You are still going to get the 15% discount as a club member as well. So £12.72 if you'd like to go for the Rudbeckia. And yes, Adam is the Rudbeckia. And yes, Adam is absolutely right. The Nephofia would work so well there because this one's also sort of late summer flowering as well, isn't it?
Yeah, and the colours go together brilliantly as well. They kind of complement each other. And Nephofia, this type of Nephofia is coming back in fashion. These were a real stalwart back in the 70s and 80s. You know, back then you had these, you had the orange daylilies, you kind of had a certain type of geranium. There wasn't the huge choice there is now, but these are making a comeback. And it's not surprising because these are magnificent. These kind of really remind me of my childhood. I remember these growing in my next door neighbour's garden. But if you've got a nice full sunny position, well-drained soil, even quite a poor soil, or even a real punishing position where other things struggle, these will love it. They will love growing in that really full sun, poor soil, gravelly soil, stony soil, sandy soil. They'll thrive. They'll kind of fill a niche where other plants might struggle, where other plants might wilt in the hot sun, where other plants might go hungry because the soil isn't very good. These will thrive in that kind of position. They almost kind of thrive on neglect. Obviously, if you do give them some TLC and some love and look after them in the first year to get them established, but once they're established, they'll come back year after year after year after year. Long flowering season on these as well. They keep sending up sort of more and more flower spikes over a good long period from summer up towards the autumn.
They're a real sight when you see them, actually, when you see them fully established and you've got so many of those flower spikes on there, and these really are so wildlife friendly. Like, they flock to this.
They do, the bees.
They absolutely adore Nephofia. So it's a special sight to see. You're going to get 5 bare roots included in there as well, by the way. So bare roots, very simple. Give it a little soak, plant it. And you can do that right now. We're in bare root planting season, so it's time to do that. If the ground is fully waterlogged, you need to wait a little while to do that. So you could give it a temporary home in a pot somewhere. And it might be the case in a few areas at the moment. The ground is a little bit waterlogged. So just give them a temporary home in a pot somewhere, and then you can plant them out when you're ready to later on. But I do want you to get hold of that deal because it's $9.99 or $8.49 if you're in the club for 5 bare roots. So per plant, that's working out at, less than £2 each, which is really good, isn't it? I adore those. I think they're stunning. And they can get quite tall, can't they? Sort of 80, 90 centimetres high.
Yeah, but dead easy. And also you have some nice evergreen foliage to take you through the winter. These are like a nice sort of grassy kind of clump or hummock.
A hummock, I love that word. I think Adam's made that word
No,
up,
I did
but it's very descriptive.
It's a real word.
Is it a real word?
It's kind of more of an American word, but it means like a small mound or a small hill.
That's exactly what you think of when you say it as well. It's very descriptive word. I like it. All right, let's move on then. We've got the Oriental Poppy collection. Is this the deal of the week? Am I right in saying that? It is, isn't it? This is the deal of the week. And then we are going to get 5 bare roots included in here, but because it's the deal of the week, we've given you some extra value, and this is a buy one, get one free. So you're buying 5, you're getting 5. You're going to get 10 in total included in this deal, and it is at £12.74 as a club member. Make sure you're using the offer code, please, YGTV0624. If you don't put the offer code in, you won't get the free bag, and I want you to get the free bag. There's no point, is there? Even if you're not going to use them, just get the free bag and give it to your neighbour, give it to a friend, give it to your mum, your dad, your daughter, whoever. Give the free gift away if you haven't got the space for them. But Oriental poppies, these are...
magnificent.
They are magnificent. I was going to say they are quintessentially what you would expect in a country cottage garden.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean they just have to be in a country cottage style garden. They work in lots of different places.
They do. And as if we'd already thought about it, basically the Rudbeckia, the Nephofia and these...
and the poppies.
will all grow. So, if you're thinking thinking this year about starting up your own new herbaceous perennial border, and you like all three of these will grow in a very similar situation. So sunny, well drained, perhaps a little bit of dappled shade
that's going
some
on my
part
list.
of the day.
I'm going to make a list. Herbaceous border, those three are right up at the top.
And they're all bone hardy, they're all easy to grow, they're all undemanding, but these poppies are absolutely beautiful, and they are silly hardy, these. I mean, they will get through the coldest winter, they get through really dry summers. I've seen these growing I've seen them growing really heavy clay soil where it's baked bone dry in the summer, but they still come up, they still flower.
Well, they grow so freely, don't they? I mean, you see poppies popping up all out,
Yeah, and these are big. I mean, I'm not exaggerating to say I've seen some of the flowers on these almost as big as a side plate.
Yes.
Really large flowers. And again, adored by the pollinating insects. I mean, the bees and the pollinating insects go mad for these.
And you get a good few weeks out of the flowers as well, don't you? I mean, you can get a good sort of 5-6 weeks out of the flowers.
You do, and they're not all at once either. So, the initial buds come up. And I tell you what's really exciting about what I love about these in particular is you'll go out one day, and they do tease you a bit, actually, because you go out one day and you see this great big fat bud.
They are fat buds as well, aren't they?
And they kind of stay like that for a day or two, and it's, oh, come on. And then you go out the next day and you just see the covering of the flowers just split a little bit, and you can just get a little tease of the colour of the flower underneath. And it's like, oh, please. And then you go out the next day and boom, that whole thing is split open, the flower unfurls. And when they first open up, they're really creased. They're really creased up and like crepe paper, because obviously the bud has been tightly kind of sort of scrunched up, and then they open out, and wow, they are absolutely beautiful. They're mind-blowing. And what you can do with these as well, if you want to, after their initial flush of flower, you can trim them down to ground level, give them a really good liquid feed, and then sometimes, not always, but quite often, they come back again and they'll give you a second flush of flower a little later in the summer.
I know so many people who do that, and they regularly get that second flush of flower. It's often just a little bit shorter, a little bit smaller, but you do often get that second flush. So it's a nice thing to do to get the most out of those plants. You don't just have to have that one flowering season. Remember that it's the buy one, get one free. You put one in your basket, you enter the code, and you'll get another one. Shall we show you how that works? Let's go to the website and have a little look for anybody that doesn't know. So you're going to go in, you're going to put in the item code, you're going to press, buy now, and then this is what you're going to be able to see. So it will appear in your basket. Down the bottom there, you see where it says, do you have an offer code? You can see that Jake has entered that offer code in, and he's pressed apply code, and that's where the free one comes into the basket. If you just scroll up a little bit, you can also see, look, delivery cost has disappeared. So that would normally say $6.99 if you haven't put the code in. There is no delivery cost with YGTV items. So you get free postage, even if you're coming in just to buy one thing. It used to be £40, but we don't do that anymore. We can't always get to £40 with our orders every week. We try, but we can't always afford to do that. So we've removed that from this. And of course, remember that if you are a club member, you're going to save a little bit more money, because you're going to get that club discount included as well, 15%. So it's well worth looking at it. It costs you just £10 to join. So even if you don't make the £10 back on your first order, you will do it on order 2 or 3 or whatever. And then for the rest of the year, you'll just be saving, which is brilliant, isn't it? So that was the Oriental Poppy Collection. That is our deal of the week, where it's a buy one, get one free. You'll get 10 bare roots included. Let's move on to the next one. And I love this one. I'm excited about this because I grew this particular mix last year myself. A few other varieties as well. I planted... I think I counted, and I think it was 34 Dahlia tubers last year. Oh, you went mad on Dahlias last year. Knowing full well that I had no space for them, but I couldn't stop buying them. But I did well. There was 2 that failed, and I know what I did wrong. I overwatered. I just put... Because they don't need a huge amount to get them going, do they? A little bit. No. Just a little bit of water, but I just went a bit mad on a couple of them, so I lost 2. I absolutely adored these. The flowering period is ridiculously long. I did end up having to give some away to neighbours because I just didn't have the space. But look at the colour mix. I really smile because we get sent something each week called a poll, and basically that's a list of all the products we're going to have on the show. And when I was looking through it yesterday and I saw this Dahlia collection come up, and I remember we had this last year, and I was like, wow, I adore this Dahlia collection for lots of different reasons. First of all, you're getting so many different types of Dahlia flowers in there. So you're getting sort of the cactus type, you're getting pom-pom types, you're getting the water lily type, you're getting the collarette type Dahlias. So you're getting so many different flower shapes, different type of Dahlia flower shapes in that, which is magnificent in itself. But then you're getting an
absolutely huge mix of colours as well. Those are like, that's the water lily type you can see there, and they literally kind of look like water lily flowers. And, you know, just such a special mix of colours, a mix of actual flower shape as well. You'll get different heights on these, but what you are going to get is just a most magnificent display of dahlias for weeks and weeks and weeks, probably starting from just after midsummer right the way up into autumn, and if we get some late frost they could keep going all the way through to October, even into November, until they're sort of cut down by the frosts. They make magnificent cut flowers. The only little trick with these is when you cut dahlias for flower, just cut them just after the flowers opened, because apparently they don't open out in water if you cut them in bud. So just wait for them to unfurl first, then cut them for cut flowers. But this, Bex, is such a beautiful colour mix, and I really love the purples in this, the different coloured purple ones.
I can't guarantee which colours you're going to get, but what I can guarantee is that you will be blown away with the amount of flowers that you'll get and how simple and easy these are to grow. I mean, dahlia tubers, they're odd-looking things. In fact, I'm just going to grab one. Bear with me a second. Oh, you've got one there. Sorry. I didn't realise that bag was open.
I'll pass you some.
Thank you.
They look a bit,
they're odd-looking things.
They look a bit nonplussed, don't they, when you see them like that?
But that's what a dahlia tuber looks like, and you can you'll always see a little knobbly bit at the top. That's the way round you're going to plant them. Now, they don't want to go too deep in a pot, because that is where it was cut off. So that's where the stem was cut off at the last point. So I only ever go just a little bit below. What do you do?
Yeah, inch or so compost over the top.
Compost over the top. And a little bit of water. Try not to overwater. They don't want to sit in wet, because the tubers will rot. When you get them, you'll be able to feel they're nice and firm. So these are quality tubers. Keep them frost-free. Put them somewhere. I use my conservatory. A little bit of compost on top. I just used all old pots from other plants that I'd had, and then you just start seeing those lovely shoots coming up. And once the plant gets to about, I always say about 10 centimetres tall, and you start getting the shoots coming off, pinch out your dahlias. You must pinch out your dahlias. It does your two jobs. Basically, if you pinch out where the two-leaf comes out, you pinch that out. What that does is it encourages branching.
It does, yeah.
Branching then means 2 more branches will come out, which basically means you're going to get more flowers from that, and you can carry on that pinching out process, can't you?
Just makes them bushier. Rather than one straight up stem, you get a really bushy, almost like a little shrubby like dahlia. So, and more stems means more flowers at the end of the day.
Also, it does actually provide a bit of stability to the plant, because your dahlias, they might need a bit of staking and a little bit of help for support, but by creating that branching system, you're actually creating even more stability. I can't guarantee no staking at all, but maybe just a little less staking.
Yeah, and you can get what they call dahlia stakes, which you can just sort of plonk into next to them to sort of support them, which is good. But as Beck said, when you start them off somewhere really bright, and start them off with a nice bit of warmth. And that's because they kind of I think they originate from South America, dahlias. And weirdly enough, historically, people used to eat dahlia tubers before we used to eat potatoes.
Yeah, that's true. I remember reading about that. That's interesting.
When sort of potatoes came along, people were, don't want to eat potatoes. They look really weird. People have been used to eating dahlia tubers. I mean, don't do it, but they used to. But apparently they gave you really awful flatulence, which was another reason they fell out of favour. Brilliant.
All right, it's a 3 for 2 offer here. So what you need to do is choose the 3 that you want. Jake has been very kind here and put some of these into the basket for us. So within that mix, you've got the dahlias, you've got ranunculus, and you've got ginger lily. We've also got freesias, we've got gladioli, we've got the flame lily, we've got polyanthus tuberose included in there as well. Oh, nerines, that's another one that's in there. That lovely African lily, late flowering, really late summer on that one.
Is it both the types of gladiola or just one? Are the glads in there?
That's a very good question.
We've got the mixed glads and we've got the
I think it's just the mixed glads.
The mixed glads,
the
right.
Gladioli, purple art is a separate one, I'm pretty sure. Is purple art in there as well?
So either or.
Adam, you're right. The purple art is in there. It's the Gladioli purple art that is. It's the other one is not.
Right.
Okay, we're there. So have a little look on the website. You've got like 8 or 9 different ones to choose from. Choose the 3 you want. enter the code, and as you can see here, one of those will come up for free. It'll be the lowest price one, but they're all somewhere like $12.99, $14.99, I think. So it'll be the lowest priced item that will come off as being absolutely free. So Dahlia Hybridizers Mix, highly recommended. Absolutely adored those last year. And they're all still in their pots right now, indoors. I brought them into the conservatory. But I will be, very soon, starting them off again.
Yeah.
Because it's about the right time.
Yep,
I started mine off early March last year, so I'm going to give it another week, I reckon, but then I'll get the pots down and I'll start giving them a little water. Fingers crossed they'll all come back up again.
Yeah, which would be great because you get that head start. You can get them flowering earlier as well.
A little bit earlier.
And also, if you've got the space like you have and the weather is a little bit colder, you can just keep them indoors that little bit longer, can't you?
Well, I've just got them in the pots and they're stacked up in the conservatory at the moment. Not pot on pot. I've kind of staggered them slightly so they can still get light and air in there. But yeah, I'll be taking them down and doing that very soon. Right, let's move on. You need some compost, absolutely. If you're planting your dahlias, if you're planting anything else, we need compost. This is the time to grab hold of as much of this as you possibly can. We are still saving a massive amount of money here. We are still a lower price than we were in December for the compost. I don't know how long it's going to last, but let's grab hold of the best compost while we've got it at the best price. Adam, give us a quick rundown because we're already over time.
Okay, this is a hugely peat reduced compost, and we were reducing the peat long before everyone else was reducing peat in compost, but we've taken lots of peat away, but what we've put is in composted wood fibre. And what that does, that helps in loads of ways, but three particular ways. First of all, it keeps the compost nice and open, so it lets the air, it lets the oxygen get down to the roots of the plants. It allows the water to penetrate through, so you've got one element holding on to moisture, you've got another element helping the moisture drain through, so you get that perfect balance, not too wet, not too dry. But also, if you're a tiny little seed or a plug plant or a little cut-in, you've got that beautiful open compost to get your root system down into, which is absolutely fantastic. There's a wetting agent in this, which means if it does dry out, and you put water on it, it doesn't run straight off, it wants to soak in. The compost is known as hydrophilic, it likes water, it doesn't want to repel it. There's a slow release fertiliser in this as well that will feed your plants for up to 6 months. It's pH balanced, that sounds gobbledygooky, but what it means is it's not too acid, it's not too alkali, it's kind of towards the middle. So, a real huge range of plants can be grown in this. And it just comes to you in these plain white bags, because Stu, our producer, who's here usually, he always says the value's in the bag, not on the bag, because we don't need to put fancy stuff on the bags, because it's sent straight to you. But I've used this compost, Bex has used this compost. The results are phenomenal. I mean, they are brilliant. They are fantastic.
They really are.
And houseplants, vegetables, fruit, flowers. Topping up your containers, anything you want to use this for, they're brilliant. They
really are, and we constantly get 5-star reviews on this. A lot of people think that it doesn't matter, it's compost. You're wrong. To be blunt. To be really blunt. It's true though, isn't it? Not all composts are made equal. There are some rubbish composts out there. There truly are.
They are. Well,
I'm not making it up, am I?
And I know we haven't referred to this for a long time, but you can see that.
Did just show it. That's the difference
the
that
root
you
system.
get.
Yeah.
Honestly, stronger roots, better plants. It's as simple as that. And this is the best compost. It genuinely is the best compost I've ever used. Right, I just want to... Lots of comments, but the funny one... Jay Kroll. Good morning. YouGarden on iPad, Sean on the telly. So I like that. That's so cool. So Sean isn't with us today, and that's why I get the lovely Adam to come and join me in the potting shed. Sean's on QVC, I think, for the next hour or so. You're welcome to watch both of us, like Jay Kroll is doing. He's got YouGarden watching on the iPad, and he's got Sean on the telly. I think that's a really good idea. Why not? Of course, you can always watch us back later on. So if you want to nip off and watch Sean for a bit and then come back, you can always rewind us. You can watch us from the start. I'm absolutely breezy. You do whatever suits you. We have different items on the both programmes, so it's not a problem at all.
That's amazing to be able to split your brain like that,
isn't it?
It's
so cool. So yeah, it's a great place, and I think he's having a lovely time there, so that's great. But good morning to everyone else. Good morning, Neil. Good morning, Dingo, you naughty boy. Dingo messaged me. He was buying plants from somewhere else.
Oh.
He sent me a messenger yesterday saying that he'd been naughty. I mean, he owned up to it, so it's absolutely fine.
Well,
Just joking. You're fine. You do whatever you like. Good morning to George. That's it in the YouTube chat at the moment. They're all talking to each other, which is lovely. I
About
love
Sunday
that.
roasts again. Is it the Sunday roast chat again?
We haven't got Sunday roast chat, but we
right.
might have that in a bit. If you're having a Sunday roast, let us know what you're cooking. Elaine was saying that she's got the poppies. They are beautiful. Neil's saying, who doesn't love a poppy? You're absolutely right. On Facebook, we've got who, sorry? Rhiannon's on Facebook, who's saying good morning to us. Good morning to you as well.
I saw, I think it was somebody called Emmon on TikTok.
Right.
I think it was a lady called Emmon, and she said she watches you and I.
Was it Emmy? Emmy. She's the one who comes in and joins us regularly on TikTok.
And she gave us some really nice compliments. So thanks for that. That was really,
that's really, right. Yes, I remember that one.
Yeah, really
if
nice.
you do want to watch us on TikTok as well, by the way, it's entirely up to you where you watch. We have different things going on. TikTok's a bit different, but we will be live on TikTok this afternoon, hopefully from 1:30 if we can eat and get set up really quickly. So if you haven't got TikTok already, do consider downloading the app because it's a little bit different pace, but it is quite good fun on there as well. Right, 100125 is the item number for the compost. Stock up on that. We're getting to the busy part of the year. We never run out of it, but I do want you to get hold of your compost so you don't run out of it. Right, a little preview of what is coming up or what you need in your garden. Heavy duty pots. Again, we know how good these are, don't we, Adam?
Yeah, goodness me, so many uses of these. Obviously, you can see there Sean's put some of these old Christmas trees in there, but these are brilliant for growing fruit trees. I mean, if you want to grow rhubarb even, you could grow rhubarb in one of these. It's big enough to grow rhubarb in. And if, like Bex, for instance, you're planning on moving in the near future and you want to take your plants with you, well, now's a good time of year to lift those plants up because they're still dormant. You can pop them into these pots temporarily and you can take them with you when you move. But just think about all the other uses for these, for storing things, transporting things. Even, for instance, an idea Bex and I came up with, when you lift carrots or potatoes and they're all muddy and grungy, just put them in this, swish them over the top with a hose. It acts like a giant colander. All the dirt washes out the bottom, nice clean spuds to take indoors. I use it to put bamboo canes in because, you know, I've done that thing where I sort of put them up in a corner and then you catch them with your foot. They go everywhere. So just put them in one of these pots keeps them neat and tidy. Even if you don't want to carry around a whole bag of compost, you can decant some into one of these containers, one of these pots, and then you can take it to wherever you need it. And these are so strong. I mean, Bex and I have done a bit of a silly thing sometimes where we've grabbed the handle each and we've done a tug of war with these, haven't we? Yeah,
they're so strong. It's ridiculous, honestly. And I will be getting myself some of those because I do need to dig up some plants ready for when I, fingers crossed, move later on in the year. 130011 is the item number. They're back in stock. There's 4 of them. They're 40 centimetre diameter and it's just $16.99 in the club. Shrubs. Yes, please. These were really popular last week. I'm surprised these aren't on the favourites table, actually. Or on Thursday, rather. Strawberry Cambridge favourite. Mid-cropping variety in around June, July time. That's when they will be cropping. It is a buy one, get one free. So actually you're going to get 40 runners. That's a massive amount of strawberries. Again, make sure you're using the code to get the freebies in there. 320003 is the item number. Hellebores. Yes, you do need to get your hellebores. They're the perfect thing for this time of year. They're the perfect thing for a shady garden or a north-facing garden. Hellebore Double Ellen Red. This is that gorgeous colour that you get on here. And you are going to save £13 on 3 9-centimetre pots. $16.97, $14.42 in the club.
And just quickly, they look absolutely fabulous planted with snowdrops.
Oh, they do.
Yeah, those and snowdrops together look incredible.
560968 for your hellebores. Nymphophea, red hot pokers, 5 bare roots included in here, less than £2 each, $8.49 if you're in the club. Put them in a really bright sunny spot and just enjoy those. You'll get flowers first year, or at least I hope you will. You should do, shouldn't you?
I think you might get a few this year.
You get a few this year, but really it's going to be from year 2 onwards. That's when you're going to get things like this. Multiple flower spikes right at the end of summer as well. Put them in the most hot sun-baked ground you can find and just enjoy all the pollinators they're going to flock to this one. 580067 is the item number for your Nymphophea. And then, of course, we've got our deal of the week, which is a buy one, get one free. It's 5 bare roots, but you'll get 10 because it's a buy one, get one free. Put one in your basket. Enter the code YGTV0625 and you will get a free bag included. So 10 bare root poppies. All you got to do is soak those bare roots and you can plant them out. You can do that now. Bare root planting is very, very simple. As you can see, look, that's the freebie coming in. Love the mix of colours that you're going to get in there. And of course, you can have poppies in your garden for years because they do last a long, long time. 580007 is the item number for our deal of the week. Now we are bringing you to do a little grow your own section, and this is what we like to do here: flowers, perennials, you know, all of the different types of things. But we've got a massive grow your own section at YouGarden too. So we're going to start with some spuds. We're going to do the potato growing, which I did this particular kit. It wasn't last year, actually, it was the year before. Thoroughly enjoyed doing this. You need to grow a bit, don't you?
I do, yeah. It's like hiding behind the
like
spud
a floating
kit.
head. This was a great thing to do for myself, but also because I've got kids, and my youngest son in particular absolutely thoroughly enjoyed growing this potato kit. It was fun. They got, you know, you get quick results. That's my youngest there, picking some of the potatoes out. I think those are the Desirees. And he had a great time just rooting around in the compost there. Now, what we could have done is just tip it out somewhere, but I left him to it. He was having a lovely time. Oh, there's a big one.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, growing them in containers as well, Bex, in that lovely compost.
We didn't grow them in that container, by the way. You can see the bag that they were in. We tipped it into that container to dig them out of.
But sort of growing them in containers or that bag, for example, and using that compost, they're not all muddy either. When they come out nice and clean, don't they? And also, you haven't got to bend down. Oh, and another thing you do, sometimes when you try and dig them up, I remember my dad's allotment, he used to put a fork through quite a lot, because sometimes they came out wider than where you thought they were going to be, and you'd bring the fork up and there'd be 2 or 3 potatoes stuck on the prongs of the fork. And
so annoying.
That's really annoying. Of course, if you grow them in containers or the bags like these, you can empty them out. Every potato is going to be perfect. They're not going to be damaged as you've lifted them. And also you can move the bag around to take them to the sunniest position in the garden as well. Yeah,
it's important to say, I mean, so this kit really is for people who don't want to do the digging, because traditional potato growing is backbreaking, isn't it?
It can
the amount of digging that you've got to do.
All the earthing up you've got to do.
Oh, it's quite a lot.
Yeah, it's physical.
But also, we don't all have space to grow potatoes, because you do need to create those channels, don't you? And they do require a little bit of space. However, we've got the kit that means that you can do it in the smallest of spaces. So you're going to get the 3 bags. Now, just look. So, open bag, that's how much floor space that is going to take up.
Move this.
Okay.
I'm going to just put it
so
there
you've got
there
1,
we go.
2, 3 of those bags. 1 bag for each variety that you're going to receive. And we've got some really fantastic varieties.
Yeah, there's 3 in here. So we've got Charlotte, which is a really, really fantastic sort of salad potato. And then we've got Rocket, which again could be a salad potato, but also that's good for sort of boiling and things like that if you want to as well. And then we've got Desiree, which is the red coloured one. And Desiree, you've got opposite with Desiree. That's a sort of slightly later one.
It's the most versatile, though,
It is versatile, yeah, because you can do chips with that, you can do roasts with that, you can do lots and lots of different things with Desiree. I think you can even use them for jacket potatoes as well if you want to.
Yeah, they work lovely.
So that's me moving the picture, because I felt a bit overwhelmed by it. But so yeah, 3 gorgeous varieties there. But with the Desiree one, sometimes you can harvest them when they're young, or you can leave them to become much bigger potatoes and harvest them a bit later on. But I mean, I haven't got any scientific proof for this, but I kind of almost think growing them like this, I think you would probably get more potatoes per square metre than you would in the ground sometimes, because or usage of ground, I should say, because the amount of space you need to take up to grow potatoes in the ground is quite considerable. Whereas when you grow them in a bag, you know, that is all the space you need, because when you grow them in the ground, you've got to have the trench that the potatoes are in, and then you've got to have all that soil either side that you need to dig up to earth them up as they grow. So you're using those bits in between where you're taking the soil from. There's nothing in there, just soil. Where these, you could grow 3 bags of these, one next to the other, to the other, to the other, 1 variety in each, and you've got a lot of potatoes growing in a small space. Well,
you're getting the 3 grow bags, you're getting the 18 potato tubers included in there as well, and we are saving £15.02 on there. £15.94. It's £13.55 is the discount price, and they're very, very simple. So you're going to take your potato tuber, and it's important you buy professional tubers, by the way, like seed potatoes. You can't. I mean, you can try and grow them from your... I get asked this question sometimes. Why can't I just take my normal potatoes that I buy in the supermarket and grow them? But there's a really good reason, isn't there? Or a few reasons.
Yeah, these are all prep. These are all certified disease-free as well, because they've been grown under controlled conditions, and and they're sort of prepared to come into growth just at the right time. And you can see on here, this is what's known as the eye end, because that's where you've got most of these little eyes that are coming up.
There's a few of them.
Yeah, and they're going to be the shoots that become the stems, that become the flowers, that are going to power all that potato production underground, and fill those potatoes with moisture, with starch, and give you beautiful, beautiful, really tasty spuds.
Your supermarket potatoes are also quite often they're sprayed with sprout inhibitors to stop them from sprouting, because we don't want that from the potatoes we're going to eat. Anyway. I went off on a sidebar there. Very, very simple. Chit your potato first of all. Take your seed potato, stand it. I use egg cartons, egg boxes, you know.
Brilliant for that.
Take the lid off. Stand them on end in your egg carton box. Put them on a windowsill.
Nice and bright.
I left them there. Nice and bright. Left them there.
Bit of warmth.
Good for maybe 6 weeks. All the sprouts will start coming off the potatoes, and that's when you're ready to plant.
Yeah.
And you follow a really simple process here. So put them into your bag, a little bit of compost in the bottom, put your potato tubers on top, and then a little bit of compost over, and a little bit of fertiliser if you've got it, you can add that in. Yeah,
and so what you're doing is, as the growth goes towards the sky, basically you're chasing that growth up to the top of the bag.
Keep burying it slightly.
Adding more compost. So you've just got about half a dozen leaves above the compost at any one time, and just chase it all the way up to the top of the bag, and that way all the little new potatoes, because if you could see through the bag, what you'd see is little side shoots coming off the actual main part of the potato, and on the end of each of those is the potatoes forming. And the important thing about those is they need to be excluded from the light. So if they're in the light, they go green, and then you can't eat the potato. So keeping that compost topped up keeps them in the dark. Then when you get to the top of the bag, obviously you stop at that point, keep watering, keep feeding. Wait for the potatoes to flower, and they have really beautiful flowers.
Lovely white flowers, little yellow centres.
Yeah,
gorgeous.
Sometimes white, sometimes purple, depending on the variety.
Yeah.
And then once they finish flowering, and you see the top growth starting to go yellow and wilt and wither away a bit, then that's the time to harvest.
It's really obvious as well, because obviously you're just going to keep watering, but it's really obvious once the flowers go and the foliage starts to...
Yeah,
you're
they
like,
just give up, don't they?
I know now, now's the time. All right, 350058 is the item number if you want to do your own grow your own potato journey. I did it a couple of years ago, absolutely adored it, had a great time. I will do it again at some point in the future, maybe in the new house. 1355 is the item number if you want to go for that one. Are we doing the raspberries, Jake? Quick one then on the raspberries.
And these are raspberries with a twist, aren't they? These are a bit different, Bex, because normally when you buy raspberries this time of year, they'll be about the height of an average ruler. You know, only about 12 inches or so. And what you've got to do is you've got to plant them
and wait till next year.
You've got to wait for new shoots to come this year, and then on those shoots that grow this year, you can pick raspberries in 2026.
Yeah.
Well, that's all over now. You don't need to wait a year for raspberries, because these ones are already 3 or 4 times the height of that little cut-off down cane. So all the buds on these tall canes are flower buds. We haven't chopped them down. So you plant them this year, they will flower this year, you'll get fruit this year. You'll get fruit in year 1. No need to go a whole year without raspberries.
Raspberries are dead easy to grow, aren't they? Because you can plant them in rows if you want to, if you've got the space, you can do that. But you could actually take these 5 canes, put all 5 canes into one of our heavy duty pots in a wigwam shape, like we're showing you on this picture. That was good timing. And you could just grow them in that space. So the only space you're taking up is the footprint of a heavy duty pot.
That's it, literally it. So again, if you just 3 floors up and got a balcony, you can grow your own raspberries in a pot.
As long as it's a sunny balcony.
Yeah, they like to... Although, to be honest, they don't mind a little bit of dappled shade as well, raspberries, because raspberries are what's known as a woodland fruit. Yeah. So quite often, in their natural environment, they grow on the edge of woodland, just where the woodland opens up into open land. That's where they kind of like to grow. But what raspberries do like is a really nice, loamy, rich, organic soil. So, definitely our compost will be absolutely ideal for that.
Yeah, we'll remind you of that in a sec.
Water them, feed them, and you can use ericaceous feed as well if you want for raspberries, because they don't mind being a bit on the acid side.
Watering is important though, isn't it, as well? You do need to do almost sort of daily watering with your raspberries. Don't let them dry out, they won't like that.
Well, if you think about fruits like strawberries, raspberries, 80-90% of the fruit is water.
Yeah.
So it's pretty critical, that you keep them really well hydrated, keep them well fed. I mean, you can use liquid tomato feed if you want on raspberries, or you could use ericaceous feed. That won't be a problem either. Dig in some well-rotted manure or some of our compost. The only thing definitely don't use mushroom compost, because that's very high in lime, and raspberries don't like lime. But other than that, anything like that will be fine. I
might grow some raspberries this year.
Easy.
I might do that, just because they're not going to take up too much space. So.
And this, year 1, that's a good thing, Bex. This year, you're going to get raspberries in 2025.
There's green shoots coming off these. In fact, those have started shooting, because I've seen the buds previously on these. but they have turned
They've grown
green
since last week.
Just since last week, haven't they?
Yeah.
And these are, I'm pretty sure these are the same canes that we've had in the potting shed as we've had for the last couple of weeks.
And that's before they've even been planted, because they're bare roots. So when you get these home, soak them in a bucket of water for 24 hours, then plant them in the ground and plant them at the same depth. Plant them at the same depth as what they've come out the ground at. And you'll see that, because if you look at the base of the stem, you'll see the different colour between the stem that's above ground and the bit that's below ground. Plant them the same height as that. Give them some support. And then just look forward to gorgeous, succulent, sweet raspberries.
Cannot wait. 330 002 is the item number. Go to YouGarden.com to place your order, and I'm pretty sure the phone lines are open. I think they started last week. So on a Sunday now, I'm pretty sure you can go to the phone lines if you want to place your order via the phone. Just make sure you give them the code YGTV0625. You're saving £5 off this particular item today. You might want to add to your order if you're going for the raspberry canes. You might want to add some compost into your order. It is 100. Oh, I've forgotten it. Yeah, 100125. You're going to get 2 50-litre bags included in there. That's more than enough to fill one of our heavy-duty pots, because those are 30-litre. You'll have some left over. You are saving nearly £20. The club discount price is £21.23. And do remember that we've still kept hold of that price, which means that it's a lower price than it was in December. So grab it now. Stock up. Quick. And make sure you get your heavy-duty pots as well. I think it's £19.99 for 4. Obviously, £15% discount. Yeah, £16.99 for 4 of those if you are a club member. Use one of those for your raspberry canes, and then you have 3 to do something else with, and you will find something else to do with them, just like Sean is in his beautiful garden here right now. 130011 is the item number if you'd like to go for the heavy duty pots. I grow the most amazing tomatoes called Modus in these every year in my greenhouse, and a really fantastic cucumber called Socrates. Nice. And they're ideal because they're so kind of big. They don't dry out really quick. So, you know, brilliant for growing things like that. Perfect. OK, so we are going to talk to you about some bulbs now. This is the kind of big bumper pack of bulbs that we've got for you. It is the Summer Flowering Bulb Collection, where you're going to get 300 bulbs. 7 different varieties included in here, and some really awesome varieties as well. You shouldn't have favourites, I know, but I really want to get this, and I want to plant the Liatris spicata with the Axidanthera down here, because I think those two together are just perfect. Yep, that's my choice. You can do what you like, but that's what I want to do with those. Yeah, I like the Broadier here. These are really gorgeous. And weirdly enough, you know, earlier on we were talking about sometimes things growing where you don't expect them to grow. Yeah. I always thought the Broadier like really full-on sunny position, but I used to look after a garden in Bishop Stortford, and there was a really shady corner, and they used to grow. Quite like to go under trees, don't they? And they used to like flower there really well. And I was like, whoa, what do you know? This is the ones I'm talking about. Yeah, but then you've got your freesias, and you've got some double and single freesias. So, yeah, you've got mind-blowing fragrance. You've got these incredible gladioli, all lovely different colours, late flowering as well. So they're September or August time. You've got the Liatris there, which are quite unusual, so they flower from top down. You've got the Oxalis with their beautiful flowers and their very cool shamrock type of leaves. Then the Axidanthera, I think Abyssinian lily, I think is its common name. Then you've got the little molly here. They don't get too tall. I quite like those. They only get to about 30, maybe 40 centimetres. Yeah, the little allium molly. So sort of they're members of the onion family, but they're really stunning. They'll probably be one of the earliest bulbs in the collection to flower for you, the alliums, and probably the latest ones will probably be the gladiolis. But so you're going to get a good sort of 5 to 6 months. I think it's a good 5-6 months when you break it down as to, because they're not all, this is an artist impression. That just shows you the different varieties. They're not all going to flower at the same time, but you will get months of colour. You've got some that are going to reach a metre. You've got some that the Broadier, I think, are the smallest ones, getting only about 15 centimetres, something like that. But you've got that mixture of heights. You've got gorgeous rainbow shades of colours, and you're getting fragrance. Incredible value for money. It breaks down as 4 pence a bulb if you are a club member. That's just crazy. 4 pence a bulb. I think it's 6 pence if you're not. Still amazing value for money. And they are going to naturalise in the ground as well. They're going to come back for you year after year. There's 1 or 2 that might need a little extra winter protection. Freesias. Yeah, the freesias would. So I might give them a mulch. Yeah, give them a mulch if they're in the ground. Just make sure you plant something really hot and sunny and well drained. But all of these do fantastic in pots as well. So, you know, freesias, for example, if you grow them in pots, you can always just put the pot somewhere in the winter, dry and frost free. But yeah,
a fabulous mixer. You're going to have so much joy and colour and fragrance and interest from these.
Well, you're saving more than you're spending with a £15 discount and £12.74 in the club. So I'd love you to grab that. Those collections that we do of the bulbs, we do the spring flowering bulb collection, summer flowering bulb, they're always very, very popular. I know we've got a big stock of them, but there will be a point, I'm sure, where we do run out. This is why it's important to grab your bulbs whilst we've got them. Next up, one of the favourites. I'm just a massive fan of hardy geraniums. Hardy geraniums are going to be a big feature in my next garden. I think they are stunning.
They are stunning, and the thing is, sometimes in life, things that are really stunning and beautiful can be very high input, can't they? They take a lot of effort, a lot of time, a lot of attention.
True.
These don't. These are stunningly beautiful, but basically you plant them, you leave them, and you forget about them. I mean, obviously in the first year you've got to water them and establish them, but once they're established, year after year after year, these come back.
This is why I love them so much, because they're so ridiculously low maintenance, but they give you so much back. And that is just... You don't get that a lot in any walk of life. No. Sometimes, as you say, something that's really beautiful or whatever can take a lot of maintenance, can take a lot of input. But these, you can plant these in a full sun position. You can plant them sort of in a semi-shady position if you want to. These are brilliant for rockeries. They'll do fantastic in containers. You can put them in beds and borders. Actually, they don't mind poor soils either. I've seen these grow on really sandy soils, gravelly soils, stony soils. And they flower for months as well, don't they? So from about June, I reckon they start. You'll see the buds coming up in May, but about June the flowers will start to pop out.
And they will go all the way through to autumn. In fact, sometimes I've even seen a few stragglers even flowering in November.
It was one of the latest flowering things in my garden this last year. It was one of the latest flowering things.
Super drought tolerant as well. So again, you don't need to sort of worry about watering them. In a kind of world where we sort of told about changing climate and stuff, these are kind of one of those plants that is really going to adapt very easily to a changing climate. These are just easy to grow. You've got those fabulous bare root plants, and if I just quickly, before we move on, just show you the beautiful root system on them. So look at those. I mean, they are really, really...
This is the magic though, isn't it? Something so rooted. Ugly creates something so beautiful.
Yeah,
I love that.
It might seem counterintuitive to think, well, you've pulled them out the ground, you've got roots in mid-air, they've all dried out.
It's fine.
They're fine. They're dormant. They do not know. Get them home, soak them, plant them the same depth as they came out the ground previously, leave them, just put a little bamboo cane so you know where they are.
Yeah, otherwise you'll dig them up by mistake.
And just enjoy geraniums. And I wouldn't be surprised if they flower for you this year.
Yes, I completely agree. I do believe that you'll get some flowers this year. 580009, obviously they'll get better in years to come and they will spread. Oh, I love them so much. £14.44, to my maths, that's £1.44 per plant there, which is brilliant as a club member.
$5.99, $6.99 for a pot grown one.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. All right, so let's move on then, because we've got another amazing selection of bulbs for you. I say selection, it's all the same. But it is the gladioli bulbs, and I love the description for this on the website. We call it a sweet shop confection of colour. And it really is. Check out the colour mix that you're getting in here, but you are getting 100 gladioli bulbs.
Beautiful.
Just picture 100 up to 1 metre tall gladioli spikes in your garden, either in your borders, in your pots. Just can you shut your eyes and imagine that for a second, please? Because, wow.
Yeah.
That's just going to be incredible, isn't it?
And also, Bex, the good thing about this is these are towards the end of the summer. So by then, a lot of bulbs have gone over. So these are a spectacular bulb for later into summer, into early autumn. And what I would do, I'd plant these in groups. So don't plant them individually. I'd plant 4 or 5. Plant them in 5s, 3s, 7s.
I'd go more. 9 or 11,
9,
I reckon.
Oh, you're going to go really bold.
No, I think you've got to get them in we all do gardening differently. I would be and do you know what? I don't think you need to worry too much about odd numbers when it comes to your gladioli bulbs, to be perfectly honest. So I would say clumps of 10 is going to get... look at that picture there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. I mean, there's probably about 15 in that clump, isn't there?
Well,
but clumps of 10 of those. You could have 10 clumps of those throughout your garden.
You could do, and look fantastic. And I'll tell you, another thing you could do as well, if you wanted to as well, because the price is ridiculous, you could get 100 bulbs to enjoy in the garden. You could get another 100, just plant them in a straight row on your allotment or in your kitchen garden and cut flowers. So you can do both. And everybody knows gladiolas. They're a beautiful cut flower,
I'm
aren't
talking myself
they?
into it now.
Really, really nice. And I remember when I grew gladiolas as a kid. Oh wow, they were taller than me when they came up, and I was
like Alice in Wonderland.
Yeah, and you always remember things that you grew as a kid, don't you? Because I remember the first time I ever grew gladiolas, and I remember waiting, and these big sword leaves kept coming up, and the months kept going by, and I kept thinking they're going to flower, and I remember just squeezing the base of the stem,
and I could feel it in
just feel the flower bud.
So exciting!
Yeah, and when you see that first little spike come through the top, and you get the first flowers open at the bottom. Beautiful, stunning flowers.
630002 is the item number if you want to add the gladiolo bulbs into your basket. Those ones aren't in our 3 for 2 mixed offer that we've got going. So if you want to get those and your 3 for 2, I highly recommend it. Go for it. It's just $12.73 in your basket. Next up, we've got a climber for you, and you may want to think about, if you haven't got something for it to climb up already, you might want to think about getting our tower pot. We do have it featured in the show today, so if you want to see it, we'll be bringing it up in a little while, or you can go to the website and have a little look at it. But this would be perfect for the tower pot. Plus, in really colder areas, this is going to need a bit of winter protection, isn't it? Yeah,
well, I think it's called the Australian bluebell climber or creeper, is it kind of creeper, its like common name. So yeah, it gives you an idea of where it originates from. And I was saying to Bex before the show, my lovely neighbour Pam, where I used to live when I lived in Stortford, she grew one of these in her garden, and it grew for a couple of years up the fence, and it looked absolutely stunning.
Yeah, the colour of the flowers.
Yeah, really beautiful, almost a little bit like a clematis kind of flower, really, but beautiful, stunning flowers for a long period of time.
Wow.
But I'll be up front with you and be honest with you. We did have a really, really cold winter, and I think it was back in 2010 when we had a really cold winter, and it died. She lost it.
Yeah.
So
this is why we're trying to be up front with you. It's going to need a bit of winter protection.
It will, but it's worth the effort. So if you're on the south coast, if you're down in the southwest, if you're on the west coast and you've got a really sheltered garden, a really nice warm spot, grow this up against a wall somewhere, west or south facing.
Yeah, it should be.
You could always mulch the base of it in the winter. It's really worth the extra effort because it's not a very common climber, this one. So you'll be growing something quite unusual, quite different. But if you live in a colder area, as Beck said, great in the tower pot. It'll be fantastic in a tower pot.
Could you put all 3 in a tower pot, do you think?
You could put all 3 in now. I don't see why not.
Right, wouldn't it?
Yeah, and then you get that 360 degree of colour. And then if you are in that colder area in the winter time, just bring it in, put it somewhere frost free with a little bit of light, keep it on the drier side. Bring it out again in the spring. It'll look a bit bedraggled, a little bit, what you've done to me. But, you know...
It'll soon be amazing.
Once it's adjusted to the new light levels and the warmth, it'll grow away again and sort of year on year just give you these spectacular displays for quite a long period of time.
And that colour blue, rare, isn't it?
It is rare. But also, what do you notice about the plant at the moment? We're only in the sort of first half of February. It's got leaves.
It has, yeah.
It's evergreen. So, you know, it's got that sort of going for it as well. So even in the winter time, there's something interesting.
It's nice and rooty as well. Just pulled one of those out of the pot for you, just so that you can see the quality here. We have an amazing root system on there, look. The compost isn't all falling away. You can see all those lovely roots in there. It's nice and healthy. It's ready to grow, isn't it?
Also, I did make some. I did make some notes. Does this have AGM? I'm sure this Beck's. Let me have a. I'm pretty sure.
My memory's failing me, I'm afraid.
Yes,
is it AGM?
I thought it had. Yeah, it's got an award of garden merit. And also, it gets about a metre to be between about a metre and a metre and a half tall. This one as well. So it's it's not one of those
meandering around the tower pot, or all 3 of those. That's going to give a really beautiful full display, isn't it?
And also, it produces edible fruit.
Ah, yes, I forgot about that. Little sausage-shaped fruits. And you can eat them.
You can eat them, yeah. So probably almost look like a honeyberry fruit, but but bigger. And apparently they're edible.
Oh, there we are. So we've got evergreen, we've got beautiful flowers, and we've got edible fruits included as well.
Yeah,
I think so.
It's a good little one. And just for that little bit of extra effort, I know it's, in colder areas it might not survive left outside, but just that extra protection, it's really worth the effort to grow something that's really unusual and different.
550374 is the item number. You've got 3 9-centimetre pots, and we are saving £8 on that one. So £21.97 or £18.97 if you are a club member. Do consider joining our club today if you're not already a member. We have over 45,000 members. That'll have gone up now. We've been quoting that number for a while. So it must be way higher than that. So it's going to cost you just £10 to join. You'll lock in that price as well if we ever put the price up. As long as your auto renewal keeps going, we will only ever charge you £10. You're going to get, first of all, 15% discount off everything that we bring you.
Which is phenomenal, isn't it?
It's brilliant.
15%.
On top of the discounts that we already apply here in the Potting Shed, you'll also get 7.5% off our outdoor living and machinery items on the website too. It used to be 5%, so we've upped that one. £20 in product vouchers, so they break down to 4 £5 vouchers. They do have start and end dates. You can ignore the start date, but you can't ignore the end date. You can spend them all in one day if you so wish, just on 4 separate orders. And you're going to get a couple of free postage vouchers included as well, with £6.99 each. So it's a brilliant thing to be a member of. Often you can make back your membership cost in one order, but if you don't make it back in your first order, you'll certainly make it back within a few orders, and you can start saving today.
Quick question for you, Bex.
Yeah.
Before we move on.
Go
so,
on.
You spend £100 on there, and then you put your discount through, and then you say it takes it down to £85.
Correct.
Do you walk away and think I've saved £15, or do you think, well, I was planning on spending £100 anyway,
so I'll just buy some more.
So I'll spend another £15.
That's how you shop, isn't it?
What side of the fence do you fall on this one? Do you think, oh, 15 quid more in my pocket?
Yeah,
or
no,
do you
I
think
spend it.
£15 more to spend?
I spend it.
I'll do the same.
I spend it.
I
think, well, that's what I budgeted to spend, so
yeah.
I'm going to spend it.
Going to spend it.
My mum, if she's watching, morning Sheila, morning mum, she would be rolling her eyes at me right now because she would walk away and save the money. I wouldn't.
No.
Right,
life's too short.
Life's too short. And so's our bank balances. 320003 is the item number if you'd like to go for the strawberry Cambridge favourite.
Easy for you to say.
This is a buy one, get one free, but you're going to get 20 runners, which means you're going to get another 20 runners, which means you're going to get 40 runners in total. Is that 10?
That's almost a London marathon.
10, 20, 30, and then 40 strawberry runners. Now, Cambridge favourite. It is a favourite, isn't it? Did your belly just rumble?
That was my tummy rumbling.
I didn't hear it. Well,
yeah,
you're going to have to have a snack. He gets really grumpy if he doesn't eat.
They call it hangry, don't they?
Hangry, you get hangry, don't you?
And talking about strawberries doesn't help. Yeah, Cambridge favourite is a real classic variety of strawberry. Huge, big strawberries on these, really big strawberries. And in the first year, it wouldn't be unusual to expect £1 of fruit per plant in the first year, and you're going to get up to 5 years worth of really productive fruit production from these. But what you can do, a little tip that sort of Bex talked about, was just keep growing on the little runners.
Yeah, definitely.
So, yeah,
so once you've bought strawberry plants, you never need to buy them again.
No, and so you're always kind of creating that fresh stock to take you through to the future. But yeah, these are sort of a midsummer, June into perhaps sort of very early part of July. And the good thing is, you know, sometimes you buy strawberries in a supermarket and they're more like the one on the top rather than the ones at the bottom. And I'm not dissing supermarkets; they do a brilliant job.
They do a great job.
But I have bought strawberries from a supermarket sometimes, and when I've cut through them, they're quite hard.
Yeah,
and in the middle they're a bit crunchy, and then and you have to put a ton of sugar on them to.
Yeah.
But these, you can grow these to that perfect optimum moment when they're bursting with vitamins, bursting with sweetness and juiciness, and you can just pick those strawberries and you can have them with whatever you want. I mean, basically, you know, whatever floats your boat. But homegrown strawberries are incredible, and Cambridge favourite is a favourite. It's a really, really popular variety. And as I say, it'll give you good fruit production for up to 5 years. £1 of fruit in the first year is not unusual. In the second, third, fourth year, you can get £2 or £3, £4 worth of fruit per plant. Nice, rich soil. You know, before you plant your strawberries, improve the soil with lots of organic matter. Could be a couple of bags of our compost, could be some of your garden compost, leaf mould, whatever it is. Plant your strawberries, water them in, and just wait for the magic to happen. But don't be put off by those sort of bare roots, because they're dormant. They're absolutely just sitting, waiting to go. And once you put them in the ground, we get a few more weeks into the spring, the weather warms up, boom, off they'll go.
It's amazing how quick they grow. This is, you know, there's some things that are slow growers. Strawberries aren't.
No, they don't hang about.
Strawberries do not hang about, absolutely. 320003 is the item number if you want to go for your strawberry Cambridge favourite. It is 20 runners, but it's buy one, get one free, so you will actually get 40 runners. You must use the offer code. I know we bang on about it all the time, so sorry, but I don't want you to miss out. The offer code you can see on screen, it changes every week. This week it's YGTV0625. And when you place your order and it says, do you have an offer code? That's what you're entering in there. I think it says, do you have a discount code? That's where you enter your discount vouchers from your club membership and stuff like that. So make sure you're putting it in the right box in order to get your discounts. Good morning, Simon, who says, morning all, I hope you're having a wonderful Sunday. I received my 300 bulbs on Thursday and planted them on Saturday. I'm looking forward to them all coming up. Yes, we are looking forward to that for you as well. So Simon's in, and Bill, that was the other one who's joined us. He says, morning all from sunny Scotland. Sorry I'm late. Well, it's just not good enough, Bill.
I'm quite jealous.
You've got fine, Bill, don't you worry.
Sun in Scotland. It's a miserable old morning down here. It's really dank and gloomy and damp. And
it's nice to have your company no matter when you join us, whether that's live or whether that's on catch-up. We very much appreciate you being here, so thank you so much. We're going to do a little review. Adam's going to change everything around to show you the next selection of plants we've got for you. We're starting with our Helleborus, the double Ellen Red, where you're going to get 3 9-centimetre pots. We're saving £13. We're just paying £14.42 if you're in the club. And if you want, you know, winter flowers, something that's flowering right now and will multiply and spread and add elegance and charm into your garden. You want a partner for the snowdrops, or maybe it's you want something for a sort of north-east facing garden, something for those shadier spots, then Helleborus are the perfect suggestion. 560968 is the item number. Next up, we've got the Rudbeckia, one of my favourites. I adore this one. There's something about yellow flowers. There is just something about them that adds sunshine and smiles into your garden. And these are ridiculously easy. Pretty much when you plant them, you can just leave them to do their thing. Obviously, you need to water them to get them established, but really these are plants that look after themselves and they multiply and spread. And that is a display that you could have in your garden very easily, very, very easily. 560076 is the item number. Pollinators are going to love them. They're winter hardy, and they are just going to add, yeah, sunshine and smiles. There's mine. I love that. It's so pretty. It looks great in winter as well. So I just left it. I didn't trim it or anything. So I'll do a picture of that later on. Maybe I'll put it on social somewhere. It's amazing, honestly. I love it. Saving more than you're spending. £12.72 as a club member. Just £14.97 if you're not, which is still a half-price deal. So, yeah, get those ones in your basket. Red Hot Poker. Yes, please. I'd like some Nephophia. I haven't got these in my garden. Now, these like a really bright sunny spot, OK? So don't try and shoehorn these into a shady corner. They're not going to like it at all. You want a nice, bright, sunny spot. And these can get, the flower spikes on here can get up to 1 metre in height. Now, that's going to be really incredible. And they're a sight to see. Later flowering, so like late summer, these are going to come up for you. Lovely grassy foliage at the base so that the flowers stand up tall and proud. They don't need staking either, which is awesome with these because they have nice, strong, sort of sturdy stems on them. 588067 is the item number. You're going to get 5 bare roots. So you can plant those out now. That's not a problem. You can get those in the ground. You could grow them in pots if you want to. It's only £8.49 if you're a club member. Less than £2 a plant. Brilliant. 580067. Deal of the week is next, which is our Oriental poppy collection. 5 bare roots included, but 10 really because you've got the free pack included. Using the code, of course, YGTV0624. So 10 poppy bushes in your garden. Like, that's going to create an amazing display, isn't it? Bear in mind, these get to sort of 80 centimetres, 1 metre in height. You get multiple poppies per plant. First year, you'll get some poppies. Second year, you'll get more poppies. Third year, boom, these are going to look absolutely incredible. Great mixture of colours. Love the white colours that you'll get, the sort of more blush ones, the reds, the purples. Just mix those all in together. £12.74 as a club member. And make sure you're using the code YGTV0624 so that you're going to get, 0625. Yeah, it's 2025 now, isn't it? 0625 to get your free pack. Next, we've got the dahlias. This is part of the 3 for 2 mix and match. So we've got in there dahlias, we've got tuberose, we've got flame lily, we've got ginger lilies, we've got freesias, we've got some gladioli in there, a couple of others as well. So have a little play around with your basket, because the 3 you put in your basket, one of them will end up being free when you use the code YGTV0624. 10 tubers in the hybridizers mix, so you're going to get mixtures in there. You're going to get some cactus, you might get some pom-poms. You just get a beautiful mix of colours, and I grew these last year and they were fantastic. £12.99, 11.04 in the club, of course, 630005. You can just buy those if you want to. You don't have to go for the 3 for 2, it's up to you. And next up we've got the, I've forgotten what you said already. Oh, potatoes. Potatoes we've got for you. So you can get you will get 3 varieties. Charlotte, you will get Desiree, and you will get Rocket as well. You'll get the grow bags included, and just like my son here, you could be digging for potatoes later on in the year. We didn't use that pot to grow them in, by the way. We tipped the bag into that pot. I always have to make it clear, because I don't want you thinking I grew them in that pot. It was great fun, honestly. Absolutely enjoyed it. And then you've got the grow bags ready for next year. You don't need to buy the grow bags again next year. 350058 is the item number if you want to go for the potato kits. That is a more than half price saving. And if you want to do a bit more grow your own, I've talked myself into this now. I'm going to do this. You're going to get the raspberry long canes, and this is all about getting fruit in the first year. Raspberries fruit on last year's growth. These weren't cut down before they were dug up out the ground, which means you're going to get fruit this year. Normally, you have to wait till next year. But this is absolutely revolutionising raspberry growing in your own garden. Plus, you can put those 5 canes into one heavy-duty pot in a wigwam, and then you can grow them like that. So you're just taking up the smallest space in your garden. 330002 is the item number if you want to go for the raspberry long cane. And carrying on with our grow your own section, we've got the strawberry Cambridge favourite. I can't say that for some reason. Cambridge favourite. So 20 runners. And it's buy one, get one free, so you're going to get 40 runners in total. And this is a mid-cropping variety. So in around June and July time, that's when you will be cropping fruit. You will get fruits in the first year. They'll get better in the second year. And third year, they're going to be at their absolute best. Remember, you can always plant up the runners that come off your, plants that you plant now. And then you'll always have a production of strawberries running. 320003 is the item number. Now then, do remember you're getting free postage on absolutely everything that you shop for on YGTV. So everything that we brought to you in the potting shed will have free postage, and it doesn't matter the size of your order. We used to make you build a basket to over £40, which a lot of you did, and thank you so much, but we've taken that away now. You don't have to build your basket to over £40. You can come in and you can buy one item if you so wish, and that will have free postage on it. We've increased our club membership discount as well to 15% rather than 10%. There's so many reasons to be on YGTV or shopping with us on YGTV. We're going from strength to strength, and I'm really hoping that you can help us to do that even more. Tell your friends, tell your family, anybody that loves gardening. I do think that I know I'm going to say it anyway, but I genuinely believe we bring the best plants, but also some of the best prices. The code is on screen right there. YGTV0625 is the one for this week, and that's what you need to enter into your basket on the website when you're placing your order to get all of those incredible discounts. It also gives you the option to join the club when you place your first order as well, and you can save that 15% discount today. You don't have to wait. We will send a pack out to you in the post, which contains your discount vouchers, but you can actually make your 15% discount today, which is fantastic. All right, don't forget to email us, ygtv@yougarden.com. In fact, I should get the iPad in a second, because Alison did send us some pictures this morning. So ygtv@yougarden.com is the email address. If you want to send us any pictures, any questions, any comments, you are more than welcome to do so there, or you can join the YouTube chat or the Facebook chat, and we love seeing your messages. So thanks ever so much. If you want to join the club and you want to know a little bit more about it, here's Sean and myself telling you.
If you love your garden as much as we love ours, then why not join the YouGarden Discount Club?
The club has been running for many years, and it's where thousands of our customers enjoy a whole host of benefits to ensure that they get the most out of their gardens for less.
Now is a great time to join the YouGarden Discount Club, as the benefits have just got even better. So what do you get when you join the club?
Firstly, our members will get bigger discount rates all year round. So you'll now receive 15% off our range of plants and accessories, and that's on top of any other discounts you might have.
For those bigger investments, such as garden furniture or lawnmowers, for example, you now get 7.5% discount on all of our outdoor living and machinery range.
In addition to the ongoing discounts, you'll also get more voucher value when you join or renew your club membership. We will send you 4 £5 product vouchers, which you can redeem throughout the year against the cost of your orders.
And as a new added benefit, you will now receive 2 free P&P vouchers, which can be redeemed against the cost of your shipping.
Club members get priority access to exclusive offers and brand new products at our best prices.
We'll keep you up to date with fantastic advice and top tips from our grown experts and professional gardeners to make sure that you get the most from your new purchases and existing plants. The best way to join the club is with our auto-renewal subscription. You'll pay £10 per year, then at the end of the year we will automatically renew your membership to ensure you retain all of your benefits. Plus, the price you pay when you join will never go up for as long as you remain a member, and that's a guarantee.
And remember, when you join the club, you will start saving from the very first order you make, as the discounts will be applied immediately. So with all that the YouGarden Discount Club has to offer, why not join us and start saving today?
We'd love to help you make the most of your garden for less with the YouGarden Discount Club.
And apparently that can be a...
Can you not hear him?
No, no.
I did think. Adam's chattering away, Jake's counting down, he just kept talking. Plug your thing, your cable's come out. Have a little play. Has your cable come out?
I'm going to just,
you go that way.
Just going to walk this
right,
way
good morning everybody. Alison, hello to you. Thank you so much for sending us your email this morning. Was it this morning? Yes, you got in really early at 8:43. Thank you. So Alison says, the first 2 photos, I have a question please. They are 2 standard bay trees that have been behind the garage, and when I brought them out they have like extra shoots growing in the pot that aren't attached to the plant. I've cut them down, but do I need to dig them out and dispose of them? The other photos of my ceanothus with lots of buds on and the winter gem. Photos taken yesterday. I received my 2 ceanothus standards yesterday. Well done, Alison. And I'm thinking that the small ceanothus could be underplanted around the standards. Yes, you absolutely can. Can you hear him now?
Yeah. Oversharing there about my...
It's fine.
My
it's
beauty
fine.
regime.
I think he kept you out until... I was like...
That's good. I just thought, because Jake said he'd cut my mic and stuff a little while, so I just thought, oh, I'm like, you know, just not talking to me at the minute. I didn't realise it.
Right, did you hear what Alison was asking?
About ceanothus.
So she was saying, no, first 2 photos, I have a question, please. They are 2 standard bay trees
that
have been put behind the garage, and when I brought them out, they have like extra shoots growing out the pot that aren't attached to the plant. I have them cut down, but I have cut them down, but do I need to dig them out and dispose of them? So just bringing in the pictures so we can have a little look. So that's one of the pictures that she sent us. So obviously that's the standard going up there.
They're just growing from the base.
They're just the extra shoots, aren't they?
Yeah, the extra shoots. So just get rid of them. So if you can take them off as near to the main trunk or stem as possible.
So I wouldn't necessarily dig it up. I'd just go down as far as I can.
Yeah, just literally just pull a little bit of soil away from the base of them with a nice sharp pair of secateurs. Yeah, nice pair of secateurs. They do this a lot. I see this a lot at work.
They reshoot, don't
reshoot. So, take them down lower than that. If you can get them down to ground level, and if you can get them cut away as close to the trunk or the stem as possible, they're less likely to reshoot, because all those ones will do now that you've trimmed down there, they'll just try and reshoot again.
The thing is, this is how standards have been grown, isn't it? You know, when a standard is grown into that shape, they've selected the right plant that's got that sort of leading central shape, and what they've done is continued to remove all of those side shoots.
Yeah.
Often, I mean, you gave me this tip as well. Don't just cut them, rub them.
Yeah, if you can. Yeah, I mean, these
will be difficult because they're a bit lower down.
And sometimes they say we can cut that to pull them away from the side of the trunk, but I wouldn't do that with these, because I think you might rip quite a lot of bark off. So cut them as close to the trunk as possible, and you will get them come back. They will keep happening.
It is something that you just need to keep
on top
trimming
of.
away.
Yeah, because naturally a bay would want to grow as like a bushy kind of plant. So, but what they've done is they've suppressed or got rid of all the other stems, so you can have just the one single as a standard.
She sent us some more pictures. I want to show the lovely ceanothus.
Oh, that's going to be beautiful.
That is looking amazing.
Look at the buds.
Okay, look at the foliage, but let me just zoom into that because my word, can you see how many buds are on that plant? Alison, that's going to be incredible. So she's got ceanothus standards that got delivered the other day. She's also got ceanothus shrub. Oh, actually, she was just saying, should I underplant my ceanothus shrub under my standards? But I'm going to say no now because it's going to get too tall, isn't it?
So she's got standard ceanothus.
Yeah.
But
Hang on.
I mean,
the other photo of my ceanothus with lots of buds on and the winter germ photos. I received my 2 ceanothus standards yesterday, and I'm thinking that the small ceanothus could be underplanted around the standards.
No.
I wouldn't.
No.
Sorry, I think I said yes to that. No, I wouldn't.
Yeah, I mean, by all means, underplant your ceanothus standards, but with nice short
You
things.
want short because you want to see.
Yeah.
If you put your ceanothus in front of it, it will overshadow your standard.
Yeah,
There'll
it'll
be no
obliterate
point.
it. So, I mean, if you've got them in pots or something, for example, you could always underplant with some summer bedding if you wanted to.
Yeah.
In the winter time, you could put winter flowering pansies, forget-me-nots, that sort of thing.
Oh, sarcococca.
Oh, I can smell that. Can I smell that?
I wish you could smell it. I wish you
smells
could
lovely.
get your nose in.
Yeah, beautiful.
Oh, yours is going to be smelling so good. Mine hasn't quite opened yet, so the buds are there, but mine isn't quite open yet. But now you've got those flowers opening up. The scent coming off that, Alison. Oh, that is so good.
Fantastic plants for shade, these as well. Good
Yeah,
for shade, good for
brilliant.
woodland gardens, good for north-facing gardens. That's Hookeriana, that one, but
Yeah.
Hookeriana or Confusa, either type of sarcococca are brilliant for fragrance, shade, north-facing. Evergreen, looks beautiful all the year through, easy to grow, bone hardy. Beautiful plants.
Fantastic plant. Absolutely adore those. Right, I don't actually have any emails to share. Nobody's sending us any emails today. Alison did. Thank you so much. If anybody else wants to share their gardens with us, what you're planting, what you're doing, you're more than welcome. The details are on the bottom of the screen. You don't have to, obviously, but it's nice to see what's going on in your gardens. I'll just check the chat in YouTube, see if anybody's saying anything here. Neil's got a question. Yes, I don't actually, Neil. Any idea when or if the blue Himalayan poppies are back on the show? Have had an offer emailed through, but it includes postage. Would rather buy them through the show. I'm sure we'll have them, Neil. I mean, I don't know that for definite, so I don't want to give you any false promises, but I can certainly put a request in to Ryan, who puts the shows together. He sometimes does. So, was it Alison? Somebody asked me for something, but we couldn't get it on because it was exclusive to a QVC show, so we weren't able to do that one. But this one isn't.
Are they on the normal website at the moment, or available?
Yeah, but it's postage on there.
But you could use one of your vouchers.
He won't have them yet.
Oh.
Because he needs to renew his membership to get them.
Oh, right.
We're working on it. I will put a request in, Neil, to Ryan and see if we can get them on. I'm pretty sure we'll have them on. I'm pretty sure. But I will put a request in to Ryan and see. I have been able to get a few things on. People have asked questions. I've asked the question and we've made it happen. So, yes, Neil, I will try. Oh, Elaine sent a pic. She's just said I've sent a pic. Let me refresh because Jake's going to be telling me off in a minute and he's going to make me move on. It's not coming through. It's not coming through, Elaine. It will. All right, we're going to have to move on. I'll show it soon. Thank you so much for sending them in, Elaine. Let's move on to the tower pots, first of all, because this is one of our favourite items, isn't it, that we bring at YouGarden. Obviously, we love all the plants, but this, for the practicality reasons, is one of my favourites.
Yeah, well, fun. I did a video for these on TikTok yesterday, and I was sitting down in my living room and I was just thinking of all the different uses for these. And I thought, first of all, thinking of things like vegetables, for example. So you want to grow runner beans. You could grow runner beans in these. You could grow French beans. You could grow peas. You could even grow those bush tomatoes, because sometimes they need a bit of support, don't they?
They do.
So
what did I grow last year, those bush tomatoes? Anyway, whichever the ones they were, they needed so much tying in and staking. It became a bit of a pain, to be honest.
Plant one, because I think you only need one. Plant one in the middle of a tower pot, and as it grows, its branches are going to poke through the apertures in the actual part of the trellis work.
Yeah.
And that's going to support them, isn't it, as they grow up? So that could be vegetables. And then I was thinking about annual climbers, for example, things like sweet peas or Spanish flag or cup and saucer plant or a black-eyed Susie. You know, there's loads of different, the lophus, all them kind of things.
flame lily, the Solia hetra ultra blue that we've got on today. Wisterias, clematis.
Yeah, you go for the amethyst falls wisteria because that doesn't go mad, does it? And clematis, if you go for the boulevard clematis, they're much more compact, so they would look fantastic in there. Tracheospermum, jasmine, honeysuckle, you know, so many different options to grow in here. And it just is, you know, what I like about them is they're all integral. It's all, the whole thing is there. The actual bit the plant grows in, the pot, the support is all one whole thing once you've clipped it together. So there's no faffing about with sticks or netting or bits of wire or anything like that. And it also means you can take that display to wherever you want it to be. And, you know, when you grow something on a piece of trellis against a garage wall, for example, well, you just have a 2D kind of thing, don't you? You just see the front. But if you grow roses or whatever in this, you get a 360-degree sort of view, don't you, of colour?
You do. It can be, it doesn't have to be up against the fence or up against the wall. It can be if you want, but you could have it as a central feature somewhere where it's getting light all the way around. So if you're at the other side of the garden, you can see it. If you're at this side of the garden, you can see it, and it looks beautiful. It's lightweight. It looks great when it hasn't got anything on it. So for your deciduous climbers, for example, my wisteria, you know, there's barely anything left on it over the winter months. This still looks attractive. The apertures, the holes are big enough for you to get your hands in so that you can manipulate the plant and move it to where you need to be, or you can get in and you can trim and you can prune if you need to. It's just a fantastic one. It's so good. I've got 5 of them. That's how much I love this. And I'm not leaving my wisteria behind when I move house. I'm picking it up and I'm taking it with me, and that's what I really adore about this.
And there's so much surface for the climber to grip onto.
True.
Some plant supports have got really minimal,
Rubbish.
and you just see the plant flaying about trying to grip onto something, and
this
it can't.
has got loads.
So, and as you say, Bex, you can put your hand easy through there to get inside.
130461 is the item number. It comes to you in the 4 separate parts. All you've got to do is clip them into place. It's self-explanatory, honestly. It's very, very simple. So if you want to go for the tower planter, one of my favourite items that we do at YouGarden, those are the details for you. But we're going to move on to one of the things I want. So we've been talking a lot in the potting shed about, you know, changing weather conditions, how last year was the year of the slug and snail, but also it was the year of the hydrangea, wasn't it? Because we just seem to be moving to the perfect weather for hydrangeas to really thrive.
We do, though, but, you know, it chops and changes, doesn't it? 2022 was bone dry. You know, the last couple of summers have been really, really damp. But, you know, if you've got an area in your garden that's damp generally or a little bit shady, then hydrangeas are fantastic. And this one, Limelight, is absolutely awesome. First of all, you've got these huge conical flower heads that start off this lime green, then they fade to a really nice white, and then they actually start to go to a little pinkish colour. In fact, you can see on the left side there, the you know, that flower
just a blush
is just a little blush of pink coming in. So you've got those sort of 3 colour changes. These can get to about 2.5 metres tall. So, you know, really impressive shrubs. Fantastic cut flowers. Brilliant dried flowers, if you want to dry them. And pruning is so easy.
I want a whole border of these.
Well, as I've given that example before, when I go on this job to Hertford, I go past a pub, and this pub's up on a hill a little bit, and sort of along the front and down the side of the pub is just a bed of these. And when they're in full flower, they look magnificent.
So I keep talking about how I'm going to dig up the lavender, because it's all got weeds running through it. I still haven't done it. I keep talking about how I'm going to do that. And it's the front garden, so it's the northeast facing side, probably a really good spot for these to go in, because they quite like a little bit of shade, don't they?
They don't mind. Good for shade.
5 of those just along there. Oh, that's going to be so good. And pruning is simple on this one, isn't it?
That's a good thing, Bex, because I said these can get to 2.5 metres tall, and you might, a bit too tall for me. But the thing is, you can trim these down to whatever height you want them to be in the spring. So, for instance, this one, you wouldn't trim this down, but if you cut this down by half again, when you got this home, the new shoots will flower this year, the same year. So there's none of this sort of weird thing about, do I take a third away one year, a third away the next year?
Just trim it back, it'll be fine.
Chop it down in the spring to the height you want it to be. It will reshoot and it will flower on that new wood. Put one of these in a pot, put some in beds, put some in borders. This will be one of the most dramatic hydrangeas and easy you've ever grown.
511168 is the item number for the hydrangea paniculata limelight. This is a potted variety. So you've got your 17 centimetre pots. This isn't a bare root. So super easy. You already got some establishment on there. You will get flowers this year, and of course it's just going to keep getting better over the years. Have them as cut flowers, leave them on the plant, dry them, use them in bouquets. Do what you like, just really enjoy that plant. I'm talking myself into so many things today. I think I might be placing a big order.
I'm not sure whether you need to move to a new house or even need to move to kind of just a 5-acre field somewhere.
That's basically it. I just need to live in a tent.
With a huge garden.
With a massive... I'd be happy. Sort of. I do like some creature comfort. I like warmth, so I'm not sure I could cope with it too much.
And running water.
And running...
and electricity
toilet,
and gas.
yeah. OK, 560968 is the next item number, and that is the Helleborus Double Ellen Red. Classy, classy, beautiful flowers, but the colour of these is so elegant. Just look at that lovely beauty there.
That's almost like the colour of a sort of a claret wine or a port or something, isn't it? Like it's got that colour to it. But what's weird, Bex, is we're only in the first half of February. We're kind of pretty much at the most brutal time of year. And look, this is looking like this at this time of year. I mean, absolutely phenomenal. Beautiful, beautiful flowers. Those sort of double layered flowers there. These are bone hardy. These will take any kind of winter. And they also are very drought tolerant. Now, in a really hot, dry summer, you will see these plants, they sort of just collapse and it looks like you've lost them, but you haven't. As soon as the rain comes, the leaves pick up and off they go. They're great for woodland, they're great for shade, they don't mind a sunny position, they're great for pots, beds and borders, they seed about, they spread, you can lift and divide them as time goes by. They will last many, many, many years, year after year after year after year. And once you plant them, there's almost nothing you need to do. The only one thing that a lot of people tend to do is just as the flower stems start to emerge from the base, what you'll quite often see is the older leaves start to drop down. They naturally start to drop down towards ground level, and a lot of people trim those old leaves off before the flower stems come up and the new leaves come. I like to do that. It's not essential, but it's a nice thing to do to keep it looking tidy. Because our evergreen leaves, obviously the same set of leaves can't stay on that plant forever and ever. So as one lot of evergreen leaves go over, a new lot come up. So just take the old tatty ones away. But in the middle of winter time, to see these is so gorgeous and beguiling. And if you plant snowdrops around these as well, seeing these beautiful, beautiful purple flower heads with lovely white snowdrops all grown in between.
Or maybe you've got the Christmas rose, the lovely white Helleborus that we brought you.
Yeah.
Plant those with those. That will be an absolutely beautiful display because that contrast will be gorgeous. You're getting the 3 9-centimetre pots. Let me just show you because obviously they're packed into that basket there. We've got some really good sized plants here. Flowers already growing on some of them as well. So I think this is really good value for you. It's less than half price deal. We're saving £13, but as a club member, you'll get that extra 15% off, bringing that price down to £14.42. Make sure you're using the code YGTV0625. That's how you're going to get those savings applied to your basket. Next up, we've got the Rudbeckia, the Goldstrum, and just bright yellow flowers, bright yellow sunshine flowers in your garden, transitioning you through from late summer into early autumn, because this is one of the later flowering ones.
Yeah, well, it's kind of weird, really, because the Helleborus and the Rudbeckia, they bookend the year, because the Helleborus are kind of right at the beginning of the season, and Rudbeckias can go right up to the end of the season. In fact, they can be flowering into October or even early November if we get a sort of a mild autumn. I'll grant you by then they start to look a little bit dog-eared, but they can still be flowering. But again, if you want something that's easy, that's going to form a bigger clump year on year, that's going to give you a good 2 or 3 months of spectacular flower. And I'll tell you one thing I've noticed over the last couple of years with these Becks is one individual flower lasts a long time.
Really
a good couple of weeks for one flower before it starts to sort of fade.
It's amazing how long they last for on the plant. They really do stay looking good for a long time.
And the pollinators love them, don't they?
Love them.
Go mad for them. Don't really need much support either, do they? I find.
I don't do anything to mine. I leave them.
Yeah.
I don't even deadhead them. You should. It will help. It'll bring more flowers coming through. But I just left mine, and I left them all over winter. They look great, sort of faded in the border as well. 560076 is the item number. You will get 3 9-centimetre pots, just to show you what they look like, because I don't want anybody to get them and think, ooh. That's what they look like. Honestly, they're herbaceous. So all of the, you know, amazing stuff is happening below the soil surface. That's the great thing with Rudbeckia. And they will then, it's amazing how quick they grow in that season. And of course, they multiply over the years as well. First year I had about 10 or 12 flowers from mine. Second year, I would say it doubled and had double the amount, and they form these beautiful clumps in your garden. 560076 is the item number for those 3 9-centimetre pots. Next, we've got the Nephophia, which we were saying earlier, perfect partner for your Rudbeckia.
Yeah, and again, we're covering the extremes here as well, because again, just to go back to the Helleborus, that likes, you know, quite a sort of a damp, cool, moist position. But if you want something for a bone dry, punishing, hot kind of position with awful soil, then go for Nephophia. I've seen them over the years growing in the most ridiculous places in gardens, and they've just been left for year after year after year. They gradually form bigger and bigger, sort of little colonies of plants, and then you get these flower spikes that come up mid through to later summer, festooned with pollinating insects. They go berserk for them, but really easy to grow, bone hardy, doesn't have any problems with diseases or pests, just joyful. And you'll get sort of flower spikes come up over a long period of time, so it won't be just loads of flowers. You can see there, look, you can see in that picture, you can see the smaller flower spikes ready to come up to replace the ones that have just gone over. So yeah, if you've got a hot, dry, punishing sort of place with not particularly good soil, you want something that looks spectacular, go for that.
Okay, so that's 580067 for that one. Those are bare roots that are going to come out to you. So you need to soak them a little bit before you plant them. Same with every bare root. Just give them a little drink, wake them up. You can plant those out now. That's absolutely fine. Go for it. The rules are, unless the ground is waterlogged or completely frozen.
Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you can plant them out. So go for it. If you're not sure, you can put them into a pot for the time being, and then you can plant them out later on in the spring into wherever you choose to plant them, and they will be absolutely fine with that. Don't worry about it. 580067, really good value for money with bare roots though. Remember, you're not paying for the pot, you're not paying for the compost, you're not paying for the expertise and the time it's taken for somebody to grow them on. You're the person doing that, and it's really easy. Don't be put off by bare roots. It's very, very simple process. It's kind of a little gardener's secret to get the best value for money. Under £2 each there. Another excellent value we've got for you is our deal of the week. Deal of the week. Deal of the week. This is the Oriental Poppy Collection, and this is on a buy one get one free. So in here you will get 5 bare roots, but actually you're going to get 2 bags, and you will get 10 of the bare roots included. And again, you're going to soak those bare roots before you plant them, but 10 poppy bushes.
Yeah.
I was going to say 10 poppy flowers. No, you'll get multiple flowers, but 10 poppy bare roots. There you can see, look, you've got the freebie in there, plus there's no postage to pay because it's free postage on everything in the shed, that is. But 10 poppy plants, Adam. How many, when they're established, how many flowers does each plant produce, do you reckon?
I've seen in
roughly?
some of my customers' gardens, and I'm not exaggerating, up to 15, 20 flowers
per plant. And you're
yeah.
getting 10 of those.
Yeah.
So just multiply that out.
And not all at once. So
No.
you'll get the initial amount of buds come up and open. They go over, more keep coming. And over a sort of period of 4 or 5 weeks, you'll keep getting that repeat flowering. And what some people do, and I've had success with it as well, not always, but sometimes, is just trim them down after they finish flowering. Sometimes after they finish flowering, the leaves go off colour a bit. So trim them all down. It's about a couple of inches after flowering. Give them a really good drink and a really good feed. And quite often, new foliage will come back, new flower stems come back, and they'll do it all over again for you a little later in the year.
Super simple, very, very long-lived as well. You can have these in your garden for donkey's years. That's the technical term.
As well.
They're winter hardy, and they are just quintessentially cottage garden style. But don't think just because I haven't got a cottage garden doesn't mean I can't grow them. You absolutely can. They fit into a lot of different styles of gardens. 580007 is the item number if you want to go for our deal of the week. On the buy one get one free, make sure you're using the offer code YGTV0625 is the offer code for this week. And do remember, everybody, it's free postage on everything that you are seeing in the potting shed. Nowhere else has that in YouGarden, so even on the website you'll be paying postage. But for YouGarden TV, we give you free postage. This is where you are. If you're watching right now, you're in in the right place, because this is where you get the best deals, the best plants, and the free postage offers as well. Let's move on to the Dahlia hybridizers. This is the mixed varieties that you're getting included in here. So you might get some pom-poms, you might get some of the cactus style, but it is part of the 3 for 2 mix and match. So in there we've got dahlias, we've got flame lilies, we've got tuberose, we've got the ginger lily, we've got freesias, we've got some gladioli in there and a couple of others. So have a look for those, mix 3 of them into your basket, make sure you use the code, one of them will be absolutely free. Quick one, 30 seconds.
What I like about this mix is not only a mix of colours, but the mix of flower shapes. You've got pom-poms, you've got cactus, you've got semi-cactus, you've got collarette, you've got water lily types, you've got all those different types of dahlia flowers, and just going to give you a beautiful, stunning mix of colour over weeks, well, months and months and months. Absolutely just stunning display there.
I like that they're later flowering as well.
Yeah,
they transition into the autumn.
I mean, think about growing these in a similar area to perhaps where you're growing your Rudbeckias or where you're growing your gladiolis, for example, because dahlias and gladiolis tend to flower at quite a similar time. So if you're trying to think of some ideas today of getting a sort of a later flowering display with 2 or 3 different things, well, you could go for the dahlias, you could go for the gladiolis. Try and think what else might flower a little bit later in the year with the Rudbeckias. Yeah. So that's 3 for later summer. Those are, I think, called the water lily type ones. And you can see that 'cause looks very much like a water lily flower, but it's just great to get that mix of colours, mix of heights, mix of flower shapes. It just adds interest, and it's a random mix. That might not be exactly as you see in the picture there, but whatever mix you get, it's going to be beautiful.
It'll be beautiful.
Yeah, and it's going to last year after year after year, because you can protect the tubers in winter time if you want to, or you can lift them, keep them dry through the winter, restart them again in the spring. 630005 is the item number if you want to go for that mixed pack. You're going to get 10 of those tubers there, so an amazing display for so many months throughout the summer. And of course you can store those tubers over the winter and they will get bigger and better for next year. You can even divide them and create more plants from them, which is brilliant, isn't it? And they are in 3 for 2, remember, so if you mix those in, maybe you want 3 of the same, maybe you want 30 Dahlia tubers like I did last year. One of those packs will be free for you as long as you use the code YGTV0625, and everything's got free postage here in the potting shed. Next we're moving on to the thing that got Adam into gardening when he was a wee little nipper, and that is freesia bulbs. Yeah, I remember, probably bore you to death with the story, but it wasn't quite that, well, it was quite a long time ago, but yeah, about 55 years ago to be frank. But yeah, my dad, built this wooden box when I was 5 years of age. I remember he painted white, filled it with soil, and the first thing I ever remember growing was my mum got me some freesia bulbs. I planted them, they grew. And I remember as a kid being knocked out by 2 things. First of all, the colour mix. When you're a kid, you love bright colours, don't you?
Yeah, and it is a rainbow colour, isn't it?
That real kind of kaleidoscope of colour really appealed to me as a kid. But then the fragrance as well. So, a feast for the senses, really. And easy to grow. These are heat treated as well, so that means they're going to flower for you in the garden this year when you want them to, when you need them to. These are single flowered ones here, aren't they? I think we're showing here, but
yeah, those are singles.
Yeah,
but you will get the doubles.
Yeah, you're getting the sort of the doubles.
You get the lovely double. Yeah, like those ones.
Those ones, you're getting the doubles in the mix. Fabulous cut flowers, as you know, to bring indoors. And if you protect them, you can get these to come up year after year after year. I've seen them come up year after year in people's gardens. If you want to come up year after year, plant them somewhere really sunny, really well drained and really warm in the garden. If you're in a cold area, just grow them in a pot, and then you can bring the pot with the corms inside to keep frost free in the winter. But well worth the effort.
Definitely well worth the effort, absolutely. And so are the next ones. So 630184 is the item number for the freesias in that 3 for 2 mix and match, and you will get 50 of the corms included in there. Corms are just like bulbs. Technically they're different, but you treat them exactly the same, don't you? So don't get confused about those different terminologies. Next we've got the Polyanthus tuberose, and I grew this last year. I'm going to show you my little video in a second. These are also on the 3 for 2, and you will get 10 of the bulbs included in here. Jake, can you see my phone? Lovely, I'm pressing play. I want you to see this because this is what I grew in my garden last year from these tuberose bulbs.
Wow.
How beautiful is that?
I'm seriously jealous, Bex.
I wish you could smell that, because the fragrance from tuberose is one of the strongest smelling flowers that I have ever smelled. in my garden.
Yeah, I mean, they use these to actually make high-end perfumes. They extract the kind of scent from those. And it's kind of really weird, because we've got freesias and tuberose kind of next to each other here. And
That's
it's almost like, what's the most highly scented?
I think tuberose has got to be more scented.
I
don't know, maybe not. I don't know. Look, that's how I started them out. I planted them quite shallow, the little neck of it just poking out the top of the soil surface there, the compost surface. Left them on my windowsill, a little bit of water, not too much, and that was it. They came out. Oh, look at this. Right, the reason I took that picture is because they get fragrant in the nighttime. And I was out, I'd had a glass of wine. You can tell, can't you? I was out in the evening, I think I'd taken the dog outside, basically, and the fragrance, just from one tuberose stem, there was only 1 or 2 flowers up at that point, it filled my garden. And I got, a reasonable sized garden. That one filled my garden. It was incredible.
And quite often, the reason they throw fragrance out at night, like some plants do, is because they're night pollinated. So that might be through moths, for example, or it could be kind of animals, little small rodents and things can pollinate plants, or even bats can pollinate at night. So that's why they throw out that fragrance at night. But these really are quite the most incredible bulbs you can grow. They're kind of the aristocrats of the bulb world, really. And when you get these to flower, and when you get the fragrance on these, as Beck said, there's nothing to compare. They are absolutely mind-blowing.
They are mind-blowing. They're part of the 3 for 2 offer, so pick a couple of others to put in your basket. 1 pack will be free. So the Dahlia hybridizers are in the 3 for 2 as well, 630005. You've got the black calla lily included in the 3 for 2 mix, 630004. 10 of those bulbs included. I grew those last year as well. Can't wait for those to come up again. Next, we've got the gladioli. Oh, it's the purple art. Oh, I love these. 10 bulbs in there, a little bit of a tie-dye mix to the colours. Those are available in the 3 for 2 mix. Those have been really popular lately. Grab those because we will run out of those at some point. We've got ranunculus in the 3 for 2 mix as well. Almost a mix between a peony and a rose is the way that, these kind of look. I think they're petalicious, they're gorgeous. And you're going to get 75 of those bulbs. A sea of those is going to look amazing in the 3 for 2 mix and match. We've got the ginger lily. I love this. So tropical, so beautiful.
Another mega fragrant plant as well, isn't it? Really sweet.
And ridiculously winter hardy, considering how tropical it looks.
Yes, got a lifetime guarantee.
I know.
Yeah, and late summer flowering as well, end of summer flowering. 2
of those tubers included in there. Lovely, great big sort of banana-shaped leaves you get from that one. That's in the 3 for 2. We've got another really tropical-looking variety in here. Now, the next one, which is the flame lily. Look. So this is one of our customers. This is, I can never remember, is it Grimmy or is it? No, it's Dingo. I will get it right. Dingo has the bar. Dingo has the bar. Right, Dingoes grew these flame lilies last year, just like me. Adam didn't manage it, did you, Adam?
Oh, moving on. Anyway, we've got other bulbs in the offer as well. Got some nice gladioli.
You win some, you lose some, eh? 3 of those tubers included in there. These need a bit of winter protection, OK, so don't leave these out all year, but these will come back for you if you give them that. Those are in the 3 for 2 as well. And we've got the nerines, those lovely late summer flowering, beautiful flowers here. They look like agapanthus, don't they? Are they similar family?
Do you know what? I think they could be.
They must be,
I think they are related, definitely
related in some way.
And these will go right up until October, November.
Yeah.
Great for really sandy, dry soils as well.
All of those are in the 3 for 2 mix. So choose your 3 favourites. Choose 3 the same. I don't mind. Just make sure that you're getting a free one included. Put all 3 in your basket. Enter the code. One of them will be absolutely free. Next up, we've got 3 beautiful roses for you, just so because we're running out, we're running back on time basically. So we've got climbing varieties, we've got bush varieties. All the roses we bring you are brought to you with free gifts. So the free gift you are going to get is going to be the Rose Bloom Booster. So it doesn't matter which one of these you choose, they will each come with a pack of the Ultimate Rose Bloom Booster. It's a granular feed. You can top dress or you can add it into the planting hole, and there's enough in that bag for 4 feeds. You don't just need to use it on the roses. You can use it on other shrubs and things in your garden as well. So Let's start, shall we, with the New Dawn climbing rose.
New Dawn. I mean, New Dawn is a classic climbing rose, and it's one of those climbing roses that's not going to romp away too much. It gets to about 3 metres tall. It's incredibly well scented. It's disease resistant. It's repeat flowering, which means it's going to keep flowering throughout the summer. It's got the Award of Garden Merit from the RHS, and also it was voted the world's most favourite rose back in 1997.
Yeah, nice.
So, you know, this has got a lot of accolades, this rose. My mum's got a beautiful New Dawn growing in her garden. Always smells fantastic. Always looks fantastic. They're super soft sort of pinkish flowers there. And the fact that it repeats flowers is great as well, because it just means you're going to keep enjoying all these beautiful blooms all the way through the summer.
530075 is the item number if you'd like to go for that one. We had a wonderful customer picture from somebody just down the road from us, and it looks absolutely stunning. Love that rose. Next up, we've got the Remembrance Rose. So this might have some significant meaning to you, or you might just love red roses.
Yeah, I mean, again, this is called Remembrance because it's actually kind of named after the Commonwealth War Graves Commission, so it's got that kind of connection to it. Again, a repeat flowering rose that flowers for a long time, this lovely, deep, solid red on it as well. And this is quite a compact rose, so only really sort of 3/4, perhaps a maximum to 1 metre in height.
Yeah, I think this one's been planted along Commonwealth, like war graves as well, hasn't it? And the reason being that it is more compact, so it doesn't obscure...
Yeah, it's just a nice, almost like a little patio rose, if you like.
Yeah.
So you could grow this in a pot if you wanted to. You know, it's small and compact enough to grow in a pot, but of course you can grow it in the garden as well. But it has got that kind of connection with, you know, with the war graves and the War Graves Commission. So yeah, another really stunning choice there. You know, this is more of a bush rose. It's not a climbing rose, but absolutely stunning. And then Harmony is another really fantastic rose. All of them are repeat flowering. This one's repeat flowering as well. Super glossy foliage, really fragrant. Height up to about 1 metre on this one, so you've got that deep sort of red colour, looking really good. So all 3 of these are just absolutely glorious. So, you know, if you just sort of want you know, a climbing rose, we've got the New Dawn there. If you want a couple of sort of shrubby roses, then for instance you've got the Remembrance, you've got the Harmony. You've just got that fantastic choice there to grow in pots, in containers, or to climb up you know, through other plants and stuff in your garden. Just brilliant, easy to grow. These are all really good quality roses as well. You've got the, you know, fantastic sort of multi stems on those, and also when you plant these bare root, what you need to do is you just need to make sure the union, that's the bit where they were budded, you need to make sure the union bit is below the soil surface. So just make sure that's between 1 inch and 1/2 inch below the soil surface. And then what will happen is the rose will become nicely established. It won't get what's called wind rock, but also it'll encourage it to be kind of more multi-stemmed. But that's all you need to do. And what I would do as well, they come in with the fertiliser, but also incorporate lots of organic material when you plant your roses. So well-rotted manure, some of our professional compost, something like that. Just tread the soil down a little bit. Put a bit more soil round if needs be. Give them a good water, off they go.
Well done. So thank you very much for joining us here on YGTV. If you want to get the Rose Harmony, the item number is 540285. Remember, each one of these 3 roses will come with that pack of Ultimate Rose Bloom Booster. So you can feed your roses when you plant them. You can feed your existing roses as well, and it's a free gift worth £5 entered into your basket. Make sure you're using the code YGTV0625 if you would like to go for that. I'm going to check the chat. Let's have a little look, shall we? Because I'm pretty sure we've got some emails. Yes, we have. Elaine, yours has come through. Oh, bless her. She sent us a picture of her Christmas box as well, the Sarcococa.
Oh, look at that.
She's got it in, it looks like one big pot there, doesn't it? There's a little pot next to it, but I'm not sure what it is. But yes, you can see that Elaine's is just starting to come into bloom as well. If there are any regular viewers watching that have not bought a Sarcococa yet, then I would be very surprised. It's evergreen, it loves some shade, and it creates the most beautiful but gorgeously scented winter flowers on there. That's looking gorgeous, Elaine. Thank you so much for sending us that picture. We've got a few more emails as well. Let's have a little look, shall we? Who else has come in? Alison has come back in. Oh, she just said thank you for all your advice. It's a pleasure, Alison. That's what we are here for. Right, Stephen. Oh, he's got questions about the club membership. I'm currently a club member. Yes, correct. Am I eligible for the 50% discount, or will I only receive the 10%? No, you will receive the 15%. Anybody that joins the club previously, on the previous membership that used to get 10% discount, you will have been upgraded to get the 15% discount. As long as you kept your membership running, you know, the auto renewal, you've got the upgraded club membership benefits as well. I hope you're watching, Stephen, and you haven't just sent me an email. When my renewal is due, will my existing membership go up? No. You locked in the price that you paid previously. I'm skirting around the subject. The price of the club membership used to be £5. It is now £10. We have had to up the price of the membership, but it's just a one-off cost. So, Stephen, you paid £5. You've locked in that price. Anybody that's paying the new club membership free of £10, you've locked in that price. So if we put the club membership up in the future, no matter what you paid when you first bought into the club membership, that will be your price, as long as you keep your auto renewal going. If that lapses at any point, then you will have to rejoin at the current price. I hope that makes sense.
And whether you paid £5 to join or £10 to join, you'll still get 15% discount.
Oh, and he says, I've not read or seen anything that explains the situation with existing club members, but please forgive me if you have explained the position, but it would be helpful to know the position. Stephen, I hope you're watching. If you're not, you can't hear any of this. And I will try and remember to send an email back to Stephen. But for anybody who is watching that was a bit like, what's going on with it? Yes, you will still get the new club memberships. You will lock in your price, whether that was £5 or you've joined at £10. You've locked that price in. Oh, and there's everybody in YouTube. Quick. Jake's like, we're running out of time. Shush. Do we still pay postage on everything except compost? No, Verna. You get free postage. Let's go over to compost, shall we? Is that all right, Jake? No, Verna, getting free postage on everything that we bring you in the potting shed now. So we used to have to build our basket to over £40, but that's not the case anymore. You can come in, you can buy one item, and you will get free postage on it. Compost is still free postage, but so is everything else as well. Actually, we're gonna go and see our head gardener, because we've come over to the compost, and actually it'd be really good to hear from Peter McDermott, because he's the boss first of all. So hello, Peter McDermott, hope you're well. But also he knows just so much about gardening and obviously about this compost, so let's hear from him.
We describe this as premium professional compost. And the reason for that is it is the compost that is known, this formula we have perfected over decades. So I've been using it for decades, we have perfected it over decades. You've got a blend of the best peats plus wood fibre that you can imagine. Now, by volume, approximately 50% of this compost is wood fibre, and the balance is made up of a blend of peats, and there are 3 different peats. So you've got things like sphagnum moss peat, which is renewable. You've got sedge peat, and then you've got darker sphagnum as well in there. So you've got 3 different peats. You've also got, you can see actually just there, there's slow release fertiliser. These little green, what look like little eggs, you'll see those dotted among the compost when you're planting it. That's slow release fertiliser. One of the most expensive ingredients in any compost is fertiliser. You can see that there's another one just down below. That is amazing, because that will deploy nutrients to the roots of whatever you grow in this compost just when they need it over the next 6 months. You then got what's called a buffer. Now, peat in particular is naturally acidic, and plants like to be just on the acidic side of neutral as a generality. There are exceptions, so things like rhododendrons and azaleas, they love to be properly acidic in terms of the ericaceous soil or compost they're growing in, but most things like it just on the slightly acidic edge of neutral. So that's what this is designed to give you. So it's got a pH buffer to keep it in exactly that zone. The wood fibre keeps the sort of perfect air-water porosity ratio, which is what we talk about in the trade, all these complicated terms. But it's, what plants need is they need a jungle gym to grow in. So they need a jungle gym for their roots, which is called growing medium. They need some water, and they need some air, and they need nutrients. And when you've got the perfect compost, it blends the air and the water and the constituents of the compost. It all blends together to give the perfect environment. That's what this particular compost does, which is why it's trusted by us. We will be growing approximately 150,000 potted roses on this nursery this year. That's roughly what we grow most years. We'll be growing, I don't know how many hanging baskets, but our pre-planted hanging baskets that will be available later, you will have bought them in the autumn and last spring as well. they grow in this compost. We will grow countless perennials, whether they be in the 9 centimetre square pots or the 3 litre pots or the 5 litre pots, plus fruit trees. And this is the compost we use for all of those things. So we trust it, the trade trusts it, and actually based upon the well, literally hundreds and hundreds of thousands of bags of this particular compost that you've bought over the years, you definitely trust it as well. And, you know, and actually, peat is a thing. We need to think about peat. Not me. I happen to also be peat, but it's the peat that's in here that we're talking about. We can still use peat in our gardens right now, and actually the alternatives, generally speaking, are a bit iffy. So if you want to get the best results, in my view, use this particular compost for as long as you can. It's got 50% other material in it, which is the lowest level we could get to and still have a professional quality product for you and for ourselves. So we've been as eco-friendly as we can, and we jumped onto that particular that approach years and years and years ago. So this is the same formulation that we've had for at least the last 6 or 7 years, with 50% other material to bulk out the peat, and it still works better. So I would say this is, in my opinion, it's the only compost I use at home. It's the compost we use on the nursery. I can't recommend it highly enough. Yeah.
So there you go, from the head gardener who's been, I mean, he's been in horticulture all his life, a bit like Adam. You started from a very, very young age, and obviously has had a major hand in turning this compost into the successful item that it is. It's brilliant stuff, so I want you to grab it. 100125 is the item number, 2 50-litre bags. Werner says, thank you. Bought 2 compost, also Cosmos. Oh, Werner, yes, you'll pay postage on items that are on the website. So you don't pay any postage on items for the YGTV show. So Cosmos was an order from the website. So unfortunately, you do pay postage on items from the website. This is why we're trying to encourage you to come in to the YGTV shows and shop on YGTV. I know it's all part of the same business, but the benefits of shopping with us on YGTV means that you do get that free postage included as well. So good morning, Nathan, who's come to join us. East Coast Tropical, he's in. Hello there. Welcome. Thanks for coming in and joining us. We love having your company. Next up, I was just going to check the emails. Yes, no more emails coming through as yet. If you want to email us, please do, ygtv@yougarden.com. You've heard about the amazing benefits of the compost. We're heading towards what people class as peak gardening season. So now is the time to get stocked up and just get that delivered to your door, because it's been annoying going and buying compost anyway, isn't it? Heavy duty pots are the next one. I mean, along with the tower pot, but probably even more so than the tower pot, this is the item that we always talk about and we want you to get in your gardens because it has multiple uses. So let me just run you through what I have grown and are growing in one of these. I've grown tomatoes, I've grown strawberries, I've currently got roses, I've got a cordyline, I've got a prunus triloba.
Oh, nice.
Oh my word, there's so many more than that, and my brain's gone silly.
Oh, to say wisteria, but that's in the
that's in the tower pot. So I've got so many things. Oh, acers. I've got a few acers growing in these. I will be putting a fatsia in here, my fatsia spider's web. That's going to go in here because I've got it in the ground at the moment. I'm not leaving that. That's coming with me when I move house. So I'll be digging that up soon. It'll be going into one of these. So I've got loads of things growing in them. I previously had lots of things growing, potatoes, strawberries, tomatoes, loads of things previously growing in them. But I also use it every time I'm in the garden. Every single time I'm in the garden, I've got one in the shed. It's got my kneeling pad, my secateurs, my little trowel, and my little spadey fork thing. So everything I use every time I'm in the garden, I pick it up, I take it into the garden, and there you go. I've got everything. And then all of my deadheadings and my cuttings go in here. Yeah. So it's a multi-use, just really handy item, isn't it?
Yeah, and I'll tell you what I do, because I said to you earlier, Bex, I've used these in my greenhouse to grow a climbing tomato. How tough, aren't they? A tomato called Modus and a cucumber called Socrates. And what I do is, once I've filled it up with compost, I then just tie string to the handles.
Right.
And then I tie the string to the top of my greenhouse, and then I just grow my cucumbers up the string.
Oh, up the string.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say that you hang it from the top of your greenhouse.
No,
then.
no,
I
no.
thought you were going to say I suspend it.
But I
was really confused for a minute.
I just use the handles to tie string too. So yeah, I put string up one side,
and
string
then
up
they
the
just grow
other.
up
and then the
nice.
cucumbers grow round and
There's
they grip
another
onto
use
the
for the
string.
handles
Well,
we
I say
hadn't thought
string,
about.
it's really thick,
Yeah.
thick twine. But yeah, multiples of uses on these. I mean, just running through the pot, for example, there's holes in the bottom, as you'd expect. I mean, you'd always want holes in the bottom. But sometimes, you know, if you've got this sitting on the ground for a long, long time, especially with apple trees or something in their long term, those holes can block up.
They can.
But holes in the side as well. So you've got the side drainage holes. So these are never going to become waterlogged, even in really wet winters. These handles are absolutely phenomenal. I mean, Bex and I have done tug of war with these.
I've never broken one.
No, because I've got some of
haven't.
those sort of trug things at home, the more flimsy things.
Like that red one in my... If you've been watching the
and the
potato
handles
video...
snap.
And I've got loads of those. The handles are broken off
They
so
split.
many of them.
Yeah.
So many of them.
And then you're just holding on to one bit of the handle.
I don't buy them anymore.
No, but these, I've had these years and years. The handles always stay solid. And like we've shown you before, just multiple uses for these. Just one quick one before we move on. You dig up your potatoes. They're all muddy. They're really, really horrible. You put them in here. You put this over some soil. You swish through with your hose. All the soil washes out the bottom. Clean potatoes in the middle. Job done.
130011 is the item number if you want to go for them. They're back in stock. Can you believe we sold out of our heavy duty pots recently? We did not have any remaining, but we do have them now. Pack of 4 for you for £16.99. 130011 is the item number. Make sure you're using your code YGTV0625. That's how you're going to get any discounts that are on the show today. And I do want you to join the club so that you can get that club discount price. It really makes a difference on the slightly higher priced, not that this is really expensive, but as you can see, you do get bigger savings, obviously, don't you, once you start building those baskets up. Next up, we've got our Dahlia hybridizers. This is in the 3 for 2 mix and match, along with a bunch of the other ones, the Nerines, the Freesias, the Gladioli, the Flame Lily, that's the word I'm thinking of. There's a few of them in there. So add the 3 you want in your basket and then enter the code. One of them will be free. 630005 is the item number. If you just want these, that's fine. We have got a saving there as well. You'll get down to £11.04 if you are in the club. So £1.04 per tuber here for something that you could have in your garden for many years to come.
Yeah, that's just brilliant.
That is right,
brilliant.
isn't it? £1? No, £1.14. I knew I'd got that right.
Another,
we need Sean Ryan for the maths, don't we? I'm not good at the maths.
Another 10p. That's neither here nor there, is it?
Well,
Really, when you think
that breaks
about
the bank, doesn't it?
No, exactly. It's not like it's another £1, is it, or something more?
It is £1.14, isn't it? It's one. Anyway, forget it. Dahlia tubers. These are really easy to plant and grow.
Yeah, and I'm thinking again a bit of a link to the pots that we were just talking about, actually, the heavy-duty pots, because you might want to grow dahlias for cut flowers. So
it's a good idea, and with 10 tubers, with the multiple flowers you get per plant, and in the first year as well, you would have enough for cut flower displays.
Yes, because some people grow. Well, fun enough, I look after a really lovely couple not far from where I used to live, and the lady there, she was a florist, worked from home, so she quite often, lovely Barbara, she grows all sorts of different plants in her garden that she can cut for her own displays and stuff that she makes for people. Yeah, she does. I mean, she's grown eucalyptus and all sorts for cutting the foliage. So, you know, if you like to, create bouquets for people, grow, sort of 3 or 4 tubers of these in one of the pots, one of the heavy-duty pots. You've got cut flowers. You can take them to wherever you want them to be. You can take them to the nice sunny part of the garden. But also with these, you can enjoy these pretty much anywhere in the garden. They like a sunny spot. They like a bright spot. But what's really exciting about this particular Dahlia collection is all the different flower shapes. You've got pom-pom types, you've got water lily types, you've got cactus types, you've got semi-cactus, you've got collarette types, you've got all different flowering types of dahlias in there. You've got different heights, different colours, different interests, but what you have got is just an explosion of colour for months and months and months. And with some TLC, you can take these from one year to the next, to the next, to the next. Yeah, and late flowering as well, which is great. Was often one of the last things to be flowering in your garden before the frosts, before the frost can ruin it for us all.
Oh, I can't wait for it to be warm. Right, next up we've got the 630005 is the item number. Remember, that's in the 3 for 2 mix and match with a bunch of the other bulbs and things that we've got. So have a little look. Fill your basket, basically. Next we've got our deal of the week, which is the Oriental Poppy collection. You're going to get 1 bag for free. So you're going to get 10 of the bare root poppies in total here. And it's an Oriental poppy, which means that, you get several weeks worth of flowering. You can get like up to 6 weeks of flowering, can't you?
You can with these.
It doesn't happen in one go. You were saying you get them in succession.
Yeah, they spread. And you were saying about warmth, Oriental, that sounds nice, doesn't it? Yeah, It kind of conjures up sort of a lovely image, doesn't it, really, of warmth and something magical and colourful and really exciting. And that's what these poppies are. These poppies are dramatic. So you'll initially see these lovely straight stems come up, and there's a bud on the top. I mean, thumping great big buds. They really are. They're like a sort of a giant-sized grape, the bud on the top.
Yeah.
And they do kind of tease you for a little while because they take a little while to open up. And you'll go out one day and you'll just see the bud starting to split down the side, and that will give you a little inkling of the colour of the flower. And then in the next few days, these sepals, as they call them on the outside, they burst open and the flower bud just explodes from inside. And it's all crumpled up to start with, a bit like crepe paper. But then, as the petals open out, they become lovely and smooth. Got these black centres to them, these really beautiful colours.
They're quite intricate, the centres as
well,
well,
aren't
they?
Yeah, and the bees, the pollinating insects come on these. Drought tolerant, really, really drought tolerant, super frost tolerant. They're going to get through any winter, and they will grow in quite punishing soils. I've seen these grow on really heavy clay soils. I've seen them grow on sandier soils. All they really ask for is 2 things that they really love: full sun, really bright sunny position, and well drained. Other than that, easiest thing in the world to grow. And if you trim them down after they've finished flowering, give them a good liquid feed, chances are they'll flower for you again a second time a little later in the season.
Get hold of that deal of the week then. That represents amazing value for money. We try and bring you a deal of the week every single week, and it just has that extra bit of value. I think what we bring for you in the potting shed is already just amazing value for money. But the deal of the week does give you just that little bit extra. 10 of those poppy bare roots for you. Make sure you're using the code, otherwise you'll only get 1 bag, and I want you to get the free bag. 580007 is the item number. Next, we've got the Nephofia, the red hot poker. This is, I'll admit, it's not something I've ever grown, but I've seen it and it looks incredible when it's in full bloom and you've got a really nicely established clump of this. It is... I know we often throw out these words, oh, it's a showstopper, it's a head turner. This one really is head turning when you see it, isn't it?
It is, Bex, as well. And also, these are making a comeback. I mean, these were very popular in the 60s, the 70s and the 80s.
I can see that. They feel like they're a bit retro.
They were.
In a good way.
Yeah, in a good way. I remember these were growing everywhere when I was a kid. They were the go-to sort of perennial plant. And then they fell out of favour for a bit like dahlias, really. But now they're coming back. Everything's cyclical, isn't it? And people are appreciating the hardiness of these. They're appreciating how drought tolerant they are. They're appreciating the fact that they attract masses and masses of pollinating insects, and they'll grow on quite poor soils, very easy to grow. Once they're established, they don't really need any watering. In fact, they don't need much attention at all. All you've got to do is, when the main flower spikes are finished flowering, just trim them off sort of down back to ground level, or where they come out the foliage. The only thing I would suggest to do is perhaps in the spring, just pull away some of the more tatty leaves round the edge. Don't pull loads away. Don't strip it right back. Just take some of the really scruffy ones away from the edge, and then just leave them to do their thing. And they are one of these plants that once it's become established, it will be a part of your garden. You'll never do anything in it. All you'll ever do is walk past and admire them, because they don't need any fuss, any attention. And it's quite a long flowering period, because you get the initial flower spikes come up, they start to go over, and then you'll see smaller ones popping up underneath.
I love it.
They're beautiful.
I'm pretty sure I want to add that into my basket as well. If you want to, you could grow it in a large pot as well. You know, they are quite happy to be grown in pots too. Just because I'm hoping to be moving next year, I'm finding it really tricky, because obviously I want to crack on and do some gardening, but also, like, I don't want to put all this attention into a garden that I'm potentially leaving. So I am trying to look at all the things. Obviously, I want to look after it for the new people, but I'm looking at all these things that I can just grow in pots so that I can take them with me when I hopefully go.
It's kind of weird, because I'm kind of the same as you, because as I say, I've shared before, John and I have just bought these extra piece of land behind it. It makes it sound grand. It's only 160 square metres.
It's not massive, is it? No.
It's not huge, but it's it's double the size of the garden, and I'm having to really hold myself back and not just buy absolutely everything I love. Because
put it in there, quick, just shove it in.
Yeah, because I kind of want to get it right from the start.
But that's pretty much what I've done with this garden, you see. I haven't really planned it properly. I was just like, oh, I like that, plant it, like that, plant it, like that, plant it. So and it's great. I kind of like the mishmash, but it's not what I want. It's not what I want to do. I want to plan it out properly.
Yeah.
Rather than just have random things dotted all around the place.
Yeah. But it's difficult to hold yourself back in it sometimes.
It is hard. All right, quickly, Rudbeckia, Goldstrom, one of my favourites, late flowering, bright yellow flowers, low maintenance, almost no maintenance.
Almost no maintenance. And again, if you love the red hot pokers and you love the Rudbeckias, buy both because they'll grow in the same sort of place. They love the same sort of position. Really, really hardy. This will have a little snowflake single, a lifetime guarantee. Months and months of flowers on these. They gradually spread out and make bigger and bigger colonies. They get to about sort of knee height to waist height, depending on where they grow. But bright yellow flowers. And each individual flower in mine lasts about a couple of weeks, each individual flower. And they're absolutely covered in the pollinating insects, which is good.
It's such a good one, honestly. Just the yellow really it puts a smile on your face. And if you're getting sick and tired of the cold like me, honestly, yellow flowers, just the thought of those when you see them, I think it makes you feel warm. It makes you think of the sun. It makes you think of summer, and that's why I love them so much.
Yeah, it's like the sun kind of smiling back at you.
Radiates. And on a miserable day, even in the summertime when you get a grey day or a rainy day, Rudbeckia looks bright and bold and beautiful. The last one on our and you get 3 of the 9 centimetre pots there, by the way, and it's a half price deal. The next, the last one on our favourites table is the Helleborus Double Ellen Red, and this is the 3 9 centimetre pots as well. Sorry, I've tickled myself there. 3 of the 9 centimetre pots included, and we got some really beautiful flowers on here. I think that they are quite classy, elegant. They've got a kind of, I don't know, Victoriana feel to me with these ones.
I mean, those plants are stonkers, to be honest.
They are, aren't they? I mean, 2 of the ones we've got here are stonkers. One's a little bit smaller, so I don't be thinking they're all going to be like this. But what we bring in to you in the potting shed is representative of what you would be receiving.
Yeah, and and some of those plants, Bex, I can see in a 2-litre pot in certain garden centres, pretty much the same size for £8 each, £7.99 each. But what is really strange about these plants is we haven't brought these on early. They've not been forced. They flower now this time of year. They send out these most beautiful, delicate, intricate flowers at the harshest time of year. And that, for me, is their appeal, is that I can look out of my window on a winter's day and I can see these beautiful, beautiful blossoms, even though it's been -5 the night before, even though it might only be 2 or 3 degrees during the day. They don't care. They flower for you, and they flower for a long time. They've already been flowering for a few weeks. They'll keep flowering for another 2 or 3 weeks. Bone hardy, drought tolerant. They droop during the summer in really dry weather, but as soon as the rain comes, they pop back up. Long lived, easy to grow. Beautiful.
Just don't let them sit in winter wet and cold. I've learnt this to my detriment. They don't like my clay soil. It stays too wet throughout the winter. And, I've lost some Helleborus for that reason. So if you've got clay soil like me, grow them in pots, or make sure that you've improved the planting hole before you plant them. But other than that, they're pretty tough. They're pretty resilient. Just keep them out of the full winter wet and the cold. They don't want to sit.
Yeah, well, cold they don't mind. The cold they'll take.
Cold is fine, but if it's wet as well.
Yeah, not waterlogged. Yeah, don't put them in waterlogged soil.
Right, next up we've got the Trachlospermum, and this is the Star Jasmine. This is a classic. This is one you need in your garden if you like climbing plants, but you're sick of getting the climbing plants that drop their leaves, that are deciduous, that look straggly and boring in winter. Clematis, for example. Wisteria is another example. Got both of them in my garden, love both of them, but winter is rubbish with them. This is great in winter and summer because it's evergreen. And not just evergreen. Can I just show you the top of that plant as well? Can you see the colours that you've got up here? Now, it does turn a beautiful, not every single leaf, but you do get these lovely kind of bronzy red tones on the foliage in winter, don't you?
And the leaves turn red and you think, oh, they're going to turn red and drop off like autumn deciduous foliage, but they don't. They stay on, and then weirdly they turn green again back in the spring. They colour up again. And we bring you some fantastic fragrance fragrance today. We've had fragrance from the tuberose, fragrance from the freesias,
the roses,
and these. I mean, Trachelospermum jasminoides. Whoa, this is a really, really fragrant climate.
I want a full seating area outside under a pergola, completely covered in this. That's what I want.
Yeah, and what I would do as well, I would actually grow the white one and the pink one we had last week and grow them into each other. Yeah. But John and I, my hubby, in our old house in Bishop Stortford, we used to have one of these we grew it up the side of the front door, and we grew it over the top of the front door and over the living room window, and it's still there now. And I tell you what, on a summer's evening, when this actually was blooming, oh my goodness me, the fragrance from it was absolutely incredible. I mean, we used to open the little window. I think, is it a fan light they call it? This is called...
No idea.
Yeah, it was called, the little window at the top, fan light I think we used to call it.
Oh, really?
And it's to just let this fragrance sort of waft into the living room. So, and they flower for weeks and weeks and weeks of flower on them. And then, the flowers go, but you're still left with the foliage. Super drought tolerant as well. Really, really good drought tolerant climber.
It's one you can kind of plant and ignore. I mean, it does pretty much thrive on neglect, but it is a climbing plant. So you can use this to climb, up walls, up fences, over pergolas, over your, whatever structure it is that you want to. But if you haven't got something existing that you want it to grow on, we're going to suggest our tower pot. And this is where I've got my Trachelospermum growing in a tower planter with obviously the trellis on there as well. Now the top tip here would be it comes in the 4 parts, so just put, because I've made this mistake before, just put that part on, and then you're going to put your jasmine inside there. You're going to obviously take the cane away, and the stems that you've got, what you're going to do is you're going to make it snake in and out of these. You're going to make it go round
in a horizontal fashion.
Yeah, horizontally. Don't just go straight up. Make it snake and bend it back on itself carefully, and then snake around the pot. The more you do that, what happens?
What happens then is you stress the plant and you restrict the sap flow, and what it means then is it breaks bud all the way along the stem rather than just at the end. So you'll get flower all the way along the stem rather than just a cluster of flowers at the end. That's why you need to do that. But also what it'll do as well, long term, it means you're going to get a lot more plant on that tower pot than you would because if you just let it go straight up, when it gets to the top, what you're going to have to do, you just have to chop it off, aren't you? And that's a waste. So if you take it round and round and round and round, you can and if it gets to the top and it's gone round and round, and then you see a little gap further down, put it back. Just twist it back down again and get it to go round to fill in the gaps.
I love it, honestly, for all your climbing plants. I mean, we've put their clematis and wisteria, but I mean, you can put your Trachelospermum on there. You could grow, you were saying earlier, French beans, peas, runner beans.
Yeah, all those sort of vegetables do.
It needs a bit of support and
bush
climbing.
Tomatoes.
Not roses. I would not put a climbing rose in here.
I can't really think of a climbing rose small enough.
Climbing rose needs more space than that. But it is a brilliant one. Sweet peas, if you've got your sweet peas going and you're wondering where to plant them, I had great success with planting my sweet peas in these last year. So I highly recommend them. I've got 5 of them myself. Honestly, I started with 1. I wouldn't have bought 4 more if I didn't think they were brilliant, would I? 130461 is the item number if you would like to go for the tower pot. And what we've got for you next, we didn't get the hibiscus out, we can get it now, can't we? We have got our 3 hibiscus for you. Now then, in here you are going to get 3 fantastic varieties, one of which I've got the Hamabo. I love the colour of this one. It really spoke to me. This one is Hamabo, isn't it?
Yeah.
I love that colour, but you're going to get that one. You're going to get the white one. You're going to get the pink one as well. No, mine's Marina. I'm lying. Anyway, it doesn't matter. You get all 3 varieties. You're getting Woodbridge, Hamabo, and the Marina, and these are all in the 2-litre pots. So these are really well established already, aren't they? Yeah,
I mean, I'm really quite shocked about the size of these, because I was expecting these in 9-centimetre pots, but these are just absolutely phenomenal plants. And the good thing about hibiscus is they flower right at the end of the summer, which is great because a lot of shrubs have gone over by then. They're finished by then. But these from probably, I would say late July, sometimes a bit earlier, through August into September, just give you weeks and weeks and weeks of flower colour. And you think about hibiscus, you might have gone to the Canaries, you might have gone to India, you might have gone to lots of really tropical hot places, and you think about hibiscus, Those hibiscus that grow there aren't hardy. This type are silly hardy. These can go down to -20, -22 degrees centigrade. So they are incredibly hardy. They've got a lovely growth habit as well. They've got a lovely goblet-shaped growth habit, lovely upright stems, a shrub that doesn't get too wide, and also really easy to prune, a bit like the limelight hydrangea we were talking about. You can do the same in spring with the hibiscus. If they got too tall, this time of year you cut them down to just above a bud, to whatever height you want, and the new shoots that come...
You can quite harsh prune a hibiscus, can't you?
Yeah, and the new shoots that come will flower for you this year, so you haven't got to wait till 2026. They will flower the same year. But if you want drama, if you want colour, if you want something that looks tropical but is bone hardy for a nice sunny position, if you want something that can get to a couple of metres or so tall, try these. They are absolutely one of my favourite shrubs.
Yeah, me too. 510152 is the item number. You are saving £10. Make sure you're using that offer code so that you can get that £10 saving. All three varieties included in there. The Woodbridge, the Hamabo, the Marina, all in those 2 litre pots. So really well established. You will get flowers this year. I bought mine at roughly the same size, and I got flowers last year in that first year. Obviously, it's going to get bigger and better as the years go on, and it's really low maintenance, fabulous colour mix that are going to work really wonderfully together. Right, hello everybody, good morning. It is still morning. Oh, only just. We're about to tip over into the afternoon. Thank you so much for your company. We've got only another half an hour, haven't we? So we don't have much longer left. I just wanted to address a couple of things in the chat. Thank you so much for coming in. So JC Kroll, he says, Bex, I'm having a dense moment. Postage included. Do we not have to spend £40 plus to get free P&P? Sorry, listening to you as I get on with domestic chores. About to do my YouGarden shopping list. Actually, Neil's answered it for me, but I just want to, just for anybody that is watching, we used to have to build our baskets to over £40 in order to get the free postage, and that would be within the potting shed, but also site-wide. So you could go onto the shop, onto the website, and you could do that as well. So we've had a little change around this year. So we've made our club membership bigger and better. You get bigger savings there. We've just changed a few things around. So within the YG TV shows, so everything that we selected to bring you for the YG TV shows, you will get free postage no matter the size of your order. So you can come in, you can buy one thing, use the offer code, you will get free postage. If you're shopping the rest of the website, I'm sorry, you will pay postage because you're shopping the rest of the website. The free postage just applies to items bought in the shopping in the potting shed. So fab news, right? Shop within the YG TV shows or from the YG TV shows, and you can get that free postage. You obviously can still join the club. You'll still get your 15% discount, or I say still, we've increased it to 15% from 10%. You'll get 7.5% instead of 5% off outdoor living and machinery. So that's an improvement there. You'll still get your £20 of product vouchers, but we've also added in the 2 free postage vouchers there as well, worth £6.99 each. So if and when you are shopping the website, you can get a couple of items or a couple of orders that will have free postage on there. Your postage vouchers, by the way, for anybody who is an existing club member, your postage vouchers will come to you when your membership auto-renews. So we do get a lot of questions about that. Everything will come to you when your club membership renews. You're also locking in your club membership price. So whatever you paid when you joined the club will be what you continue to pay for years to come, even if we put the club membership price up. As long as your auto-renewal stays in place, as long as that doesn't lapse, you will always only ever pay the price that you paid when you joined the club. So I hope we've answered some questions there for you. Thank you so much for your comments. Do your shopping list. JC Kroll, she says, thank you. As a garden club member, this is fab. Yeah, I think it is. I think we've made it better, haven't we? Fingers crossed, anyway. I mean, if you've ever got any comments about it, you just have to let us know. Right, we've got half an hour left, so we've just got another few things to show you. If you want to go to the website, look, click on the Live Now button. I don't know what that noise was, sorry. Click on the Live Now button and you can scroll down here. This will take you to all of the items that we've got selected for you. These are all the items that you can pay no postage on today. So we've got a really big selection. We can never get through everything in one show. So this is where you can have a little look. And there, by the way, that's the free 3 for 2 bulb offers. He's just going to scroll back up for me, aren't you, Jake? There we go. Right, it starts with... I think it's the tuberose. The glamorous gladioli isn't in the collection, is it? I can't... No, I think... No. So I think it starts with tuberose. So tuberose, dahlias, freesias, black calla lilies. Then we've got the glamorous gladioli right there. We've got the ranunculus. We've got the ginger lily. And there's also a flame lily as well, and the nerines. So there you go. It starts with the tuberose, and then you've got all 9 of those. Those are in the 3 for 2. Oh, are they not in order now? Oh, I'm sorry, I've given you the wrong information. Apologies. The black calla lilies aren't in there, but you have got all of those other ones. So choose the 3 that you want, put them into your basket. Make sure you use the offer code YGTV0625. One of those items will be free. It'll be the lowest priced item, but I think they're all at like $9.99, $12.99, $14.99. But one of them will pop up as being free for you as long as you enter the code. The code is the all-important thing. That's the magic key to getting all of the discounts and savings that you can possibly get with us here at YGTV, and that includes the free postage as well. Right, Gladioli Purple Art. This one definitely is 3 for 2. There you go. It says on the details there, 3 for 2. So in here, you're going to get 10 bulbs. You could, if you want to, get 3 packs of this. One of them will pop up as free for you. And I think that would work, wouldn't it? 30 gladioli of this variety would be incredible. It's brand new this season, OK? So this we haven't had before. And I love the colour mix of the flowers that you're getting with the gladioli.
Do you know, that flower, Bex, almost looks metallic. It's got a shimmer to it, isn't it? That kind of colour contrast there on those petals is really, really incredible. And the great thing about gladiolis is they're giving you that late summer colour. They're one of the latest sort of bulbs to flower in the year. And you get great big upright flower spikes there, those lovely big sword-shaped leaves. They make spectacular cut flowers. Gladiolis, again, good for pollinators. I remember when I've grown them, the bees, the pollinating insects really adore them. But there's just something for me about this colour combination here that, different parts of the flowers, when they're really young, the flower's got that deep purple. Then as it opens out, it kind of softens with those little bits of white blending through it. Beautiful, beautiful statement plants, aren't they? These?
They are statements. You're right there. Gladioli, they definitely are statement plants. When you see a display of those, either as a cut flower or just in a garden somewhere, they draw your eye for sure. 630388 is the item number in the 3 for 2 mix and match. I've got a list somewhere. I'm sure it's on this list, isn't it? Here we go. I'm going to tell you what they are. Polyanthus. Dahlias are in the mix. Yeah, I think they're saving yeah, they are. You're right, Jake. So you are saving £2 on them if you just buy them individually, but they are in the 3 for 2 mix as well. The freesias doubles, they're in there. The calla lilies are in there, but you are saving on those as well. So if you just want those, you'll save £3 on those, but they are in the 3 for 2 mix and match. You've got the gladioli purple art, ranunculus, you've got the ginger lily, the gloriosa flame lily, and the nerines. So it was as we showed you on the website, starting with the tuberose, the 9 following, the 9 including those. Gladioli purple art, I definitely recommend going for 30 of those, but if you just want the 10 and you want to go for some others, you can do as well. Get hold of those 3 for 2s. 630388. Do not apologise, Jake. It's absolutely fine. Next up, we've got for you the ranunculus. I think it's 75, or is it 100? How many are you getting in this one? He's going to change the details for me. He's on it, he's on it, he's coming. You get a lot in the ranunculus, though, don't you? And they're really weird looking. They look like
little claws.
They do.
Kind of little claw-shaped kind of.
They're such odd-looking. Are they called corms?
I think these. No.
We call them bulbs, but they're not what you think
of
as being a bulb.
Yes, it says corms. Should we get one out?
We've got a oh, go for it. Oh, you just look like you struggled then.
I was struggling a bit. Well, I didn't want to do that thing where you. And then they go everywhere. It's like really annoying.
They're really odd little things. Do you know which way round you're supposed to plant them?
Yeah, the claws need to point downwards. In fact,
what I thought.
They're like little octopus.
Oh, I dropped it.
I'll give you another one. They're like little baby. They're like squids.
They are, aren't they?
Like, what's that? Is it called Squid Game or something? It's like,
you don't want to know about that.
No,
trust me.
Oh, I did say something wrong there.
No, you didn't. You're fine.
So you can see there's inappropriate.
There's a little knobbly end at the top, and there's like the little. I'm going to drop it. Little legs coming out the back there.
Yeah, the little tentacles want to face downwards.
But you know... Oh, I dropped it again. If you're not sure, Just put it on its side.
That would be fine.
It would be fine. It will find its way. If you do it upside down, it's not going to be happy.
Do you know what these are related to? Do you know what these actually are?
I do, and I've forgotten.
They're buttercups.
Yes, that's right, isn't it?
These are buttercups. They're the buttercup family. And when the leaves grow on these, you'll notice the leaves are pretty much identical to buttercup leaves.
Yeah. These get a bit taller than buttercups, though, don't they?
Yeah, a little bit taller. But they flower really early. You'll see these in the garden centres probably in another 2 or 3 weeks' time. End of February, March, you'll see them pot grown in the garden centres, and they'll already be flowering. So they're really early flowering, super, super double flowers. I've grown these. They are really, really easy to grow. All they ask of you, when you think about buttercups, generally buttercups, ideally, buttercups like quite damp, meadowy, meadowlandy kind of areas. The meadow buttercup. These like the same. So plant these in a moist soil, and they don't mind a bit of dappled shade either. They don't want to be in really full hot baking sun. So if you've got somewhere with a bit of dappled shade, quite nice moist soil, grow these. Really easy to grow, and once you've got them, they'll come back year after year after year for a good few weeks. They'll send up these beautiful super double flowers on really strong stems, and they make great cut flowers as well.
Them. Look at that sea of them there. The colour mix is beautiful.
They're stunning. So easy to grow, Bex, as well.
75 of them for £8.49 as a club price. And of course, it is in the 3 for 2. So actually, when you consider the price that you will pay for these within that 3 for 2, you know, even better value for money. So put the 3 items you want in your basket, obviously of the 9 that are included in there. Enter the code, and that's where you will see that one of them is going to come up as free. In this instance, the gladioli has come up as a free item. Obviously, there's no postage to pay as well, because it's all free postage for items that are in the potting shed. JC said, OMG, this is going to be a big shop. I love that. Ruth says, Bex, how many bare roots strawberry can go in a 25cm pot? That's just a bit smaller than our heavy duty. I'm going to say
3.
Yeah, 3 max.
Yeah, I'd say about 3.
I packed 5 into a 30cm heavy duty pot, and it's way too many.
Yeah,
so I need to separate them. Go for 3 in there.
And also
2 might be even better, but you could probably go to 3.
Yeah, I think 3 will be okay, because if you make them fight each other, then you get less production, not more. And just going back to the bulbs, what I do with all my bulbs is, if I'm going to plant them on a Sunday, I actually soak them the night before.
Do you do that with all bulbs?
Yeah, I do all my bulbs. Any bulbs. Yeah, I put them. My freesias, all of them, like sort of I don't know, about 6 o'clock on the evening before, indoors. I just put them in a nice bowl of water, and I just leave them. I drain them off in the morning, and it just
make sure you do it the next day.
Yeah, you need to do it the next day.
You've got to make sure you do it the next day.
It just sort of plumps them up and hydrates them, and it just gives them that little bit of an earlier start than putting them straight in the ground bone dry.
Love it. That's what you're here for. Not just the garden bargains, but also the top tips. Next, we've got the ginger lily. Now, I did plant this last year, but I planted it in my clay soil. I don't think it's very... It grew. I didn't get flower. It grew. I got loads of foliage. I'm hopeful that it'll get the flower this year, but it does kind of really want a bit more of a free-draining soil than my heavy clay soil, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I thought I'd give it a go. Why not? You know, I knew what I was doing at the time. I knew it was a risk, but I thought I'd try it.
Well, I've got this as well. In fact, it started off in my back garden, and it was fantastic. I mean, the leaves were absolutely... I mean, I loved it for the leaves, never mind the flower. The leaves are kind of big banana kind of shaped leaves.
They are huge, great leaves, aren't they? And I was amazed how much it grew. I planted it as a tuber, and it got up to, I mean, probably chest height on me. The foliage and the growth probably got up to here in that 1 year.
Yeah.
And I think had I put it in a nice free-draining soil, I would have got a flower head last year. I really do think I would have done.
I've got to be honest as well, mine didn't flower in the first year either.
Did it not?
No, I mean, I got fantastic growth on it.
Maybe I'm just being... maybe I'm being hard on myself. Maybe it is going to be great.
It didn't flower in the first year. So, anyway, where I had it in my back garden, I didn't have it in a sunny enough position. So I lifted it, I put it in a pot, and John's growing it on in a pot, and it's now in the greenhouse just for the winter time. Not it needs to be, because
it's winter hardy.
John's going to put it in his front garden. That's my husband, my other half. And
yeah, they have to split the garden, otherwise they'll be divorced.
Yeah, yeah. Either the garden splits or we do. It's like it's one or the other. But yeah, so John's going to plant it in the front garden, and because to be fair, because I kept it in the greenhouse from last year, it's still got all the green growth on top. It hasn't died down. So
because it is herbaceous normally,
yeah,
it would disappear. It would normally disappear almost completely.
Yeah, in our climate it would, but in where it comes from originally, it probably stayed green pretty much all the year because it doesn't have frost to knock it back. But because I've kept it in the greenhouse, it's still really, really green. So I'm hoping when we put it back in the front garden in the spring,
you've got a head start then.
Yeah, it will flower for us this year. But even without the flowers, the foliage was brilliant, because if you kind of want a real tropical, kind of jungly kind of looking plant with really big dramatic leaves, grow it. Just grow it for the leaves. The leaves are amazing. But when you do get the flower spikes, in fact, I don't know if some of you might remember Angela Nagani used to present on.
Yeah, she did. Used to present on Ideal World shows, didn't she?
Well, Angie grew some of these.
She gave me a job.
And Angie got these to flower, and I remember her showing me the pictures of them in her garden, and they were.
In fact, the VT
brilliant.
that we show, you know, with it against the brick wall, I'm pretty sure that is Angela's.
Oh, yeah, it could well be.
I think that's an old video, and it is that one. I think that is Angela's.
Angie did have a wall round. She's moved now. She moved abroad, but Angie's.
She's selling it in the south of France.
Yeah,
isn't she?
absolutely. But Angie got these to flower, and when you do get them to flower, they've got a really beautiful, sweet-smelling fragrance as well. So I've loved it today because we've had fragrance specks from the Tracheospermum, from the freesias, from the tuberose, from the ginger.
Yeah, we've had a really nice fragrant show, haven't we?
Yeah, lots of really fragrant plants today, which is nice. And the roses, of course.
Ruth is just saying, she's not had success, but she's going to try it again. I think you should, Rutha. Why not?
What they like
Give it a go.
Yeah, they like a really lovely, hot, sunny, sheltered spot.
On
really,
that one too.
Yeah, I was just looking the wrong way there. So,
we're over there.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I just fell in. But yeah. You know, sometimes I'm struggling a bit today, aren't I?
No, you're not. You're doing brilliantly.
You know, sometimes when you look down and you look up again, you're like, oh, that's that one. But yeah, growing a nice, really, really hot, sunny spot. Hot, sunny spot. Keep them well watered and feed them as well. Give them a liquid feed, and you will get them to flower, honestly.
Go for it, Ruth. Please do. Give them a try, won't you? Particularly because we've got it in that 3 for 2 offer. So, you know, I think it's worth adding into your basket. It might be the one that comes up as free, and then it's not worth. And then it's completely worth giving it a go, isn't it? 66000 is the item number if you want to go for that. If you want something to mix in, you haven't found the ones you want in your 3 for 2. Here's a few of the others. We've got the freesias. You could go for those. They're in the 3 for 2. You're going to get 50 corms included in there. They're £11 and 4 pence as your discount club price. Those are the singles. You'll be getting the doubles, as you can see there. 630184 is the item number if you'd like to go for the freesias double mixed corms in the 3 for 2 offer. You can just buy them on their own, it's fine. Tuberose, please get tuberose. Now, tuberose can be tricky to get started. I'm not gonna lie about that at all. And I'll tell you, I did not have success with every single one of the bulbs that I planted. I think I had about a 70% success rate with what I planted. But it was worth it. It is absolutely worth it. What I learnt was, and I think what I'm going to try a slightly different way this year, I might actually start them off on a heat mat, or I might start them off in an airing cupboard rather than just on the windowsill in my conservatory. Because you've got to think about, I was starting them off in sort of March and April. The night times still get a bit cold. Yeah. So I think the temperature was dropping, and then it was getting really bright and sunny and warm in the daytime, and it was warm, but then it was dropping at night time. And I think potentially that's where I didn't succeed with a few of them. So I'm going to try inside the house where the temperatures are more consistent rather than putting them in the conservatory. What do you reckon, Alan?
Yeah, I think so. Or another thing you could do, I've got in my greenhouse a little heated propagator. Yeah. So you could literally start each bulb off in a 9-centimetre pot, and you'd probably get pretty much sort of 6 to 10 of 9-centimetre pots in that little heated propagator I've got. Yeah. And it heats from underneath. Yeah. It's got like a cover over the top, and I would start them off in something like that.
And so once you start seeing green growth come through, you don't need to do that anymore. You can move it.
Yeah, it's just giving them that really consistent warmth to begin with. And this is why we're all honest with you on it. We're not going to say to you, oh, just bung them in and they'll grow.
No, you can't.
Easy as you like. They're a piece of cake.
Some bulbs you can do that with. Yeah. These you can't. They take a little bit of extra work. But I was so happy when they grew, Adam. I cannot tell you the sense of achievement I had when they grew. And then the scent that came from it was...
Well, I'm not making this up,
It's the favourite thing I grew last year.
This is not just, I'm not making this up, and it's not some sort of sales talk or anything like that, but you are the only person that I've ever come across who I know have actually grown and got to flower, tuberose. I don't know anybody else who's grown them and got them to flower. I mean, I don't know. I'm not saying I know loads of people who got them and they never flowered. You're the only person I know who's bought them and got them to flower. So, which is fantastic.
I think they're well worth a try, honestly, and they are in that 3 for 2 offer. So do go for the tuberose as well. Sorry, we went off on a bit of tangent there. Sorry, Jake. Dahlias are also available in that 3 for 2 look. So you're going to get 10 of the tubers. Again, I grew these last year and they were brilliant. If you follow me on social media, you will have seen my pictures of these. And if you do want to follow us, by the way, I'm Rebecca Bex-Edwards, or Rebecca, just search for that, you'll find me. And obviously Adam Woolcott, you'll be able to find him as well on Instagram and TikTok?
Instagram, TikTok and YouTube.
There you go. Have a little search for Adam as well, because he gives loads of good tips. 630-005 is the item number for the dahlias. In the 3 for 2, all the calla lilies. I planted these last year as well. These are in the 3 for 2 as well. These don't want to be planted too deep either. They're like these saucer-shaped things. You want the bowl side down. You'll see the little eyes on the top. Nice and shallow. Give them a little bit of water. Keep them on a windowsill to get them started. And they do need a bit of protection from frost. 630-223 for the calla lilies in the 3 for 2. Flame lily, guess what? Grew these last year as well. Dingo's bar, there they are. These are real customer results that you are looking at right now. You'll get 3 of those tubers. They're long sausage-shaped things. Plant them vertically, so on their side. And start those off. And these
horizontally.
Horizontally.
Yeah.
Sorry, I got it the wrong way around. Horizontally. Sorry. Go horizontal and start them off indoors. Sometimes they take a little. They certainly took a few weeks before I started seeing sprouts. In fact, I even dug them up to check whether they were growing, which is something you should never do. But it did work, honestly. 630-075. Have a tropical, beautiful, and they're quite big as well. You know, they're quite chunky flowers that you get from them. My son said that they look like hearts, and I thought that was really cute. Yeah, so that's available in the 3 for 2 mix and match as well. Oh, and the nerines. Yeah, these are great. Late season colour. So these are normally coming up, I mean, really late as well. I'm not just talking about August and September. These can be coming up in October, can't they?
Yeah, John and I were working in the garden in Suffolk back in the autumn, and there was still some of these showing a bit of colour in early November, which was amazing. It's, that late in the year.
Wow.
And they're really good nerines as well for really hot, sunny situations. They grow really well on poor, sandy, gravelly soils. Just one quick tip before we move on. Don't plant the bulbs too deep. You almost want to plant these with the neck of the bulb almost sticking out above soil level. That's what they like, because they like to have their bulbs sort of baked and cooked during the summer.
So there you go. Those are the 3 for 2s that you can go for. Simon has said, Adam, I always soak my bulbs overnight before I plant them. I thought I was the only one.
No, I've always done it.
I've never soaked bulbs, like bare roots and a few things that obviously, but I've never soaked bulbs. So I've always done fairly well with the bulbs I've planted, but maybe that's worth a try.
You'd be amazed, because you put them in, because when you first drop them in the water, they just float on top. And then you come out in the morning, quite often they've sort of dropped down a bit. And you can actually, if you fill in the night before, they feel a little bit, not soft, but they haven't got that real firmness to them. And in the morning, you'd be amazed how much they've plumped up.
Really?
Yeah, and it just sparks them into getting going a bit more quickly.
Like that. There was another comment on here. Stephen Jones, I can't get through to you on the mobile phone. Wait, are you talking about the 0844 number, Stephen? Because that should be open. I'm not sure about a mobile phone. I don't think we have a mobile phone. Unless you're trying to message somebody else and you've come randomly in on our chat, I don't know. But if you're trying to place your order at YouGarden.com, there's a phone number on the bottom of the screen there, 0844 502 0050. The phone lines opened last week on a Sunday, so you should be able to get through on the phone line today. If you can't get through on that number, you can always place your order on YouGarden.com, so go to the website to do that, or make yourself a list and you will... Excuse me, you will be able to go through on the phone lines tomorrow. I'm sure it should be open today, but if you're struggling to get through, you can place your order, as I say, on the website, or you can phone them tomorrow and try then. Make sure if you are using the phone lines that you are giving the offer code YGTV0625. This is where you go, by the way, if you want to go through and see all the items that we've got selected. Click the Live Now button. It might be at the bottom of your screen, depending on what you're watching it on, whether it's a phone or a tablet or something, but look for the Live Now button. Scroll down, those are all the items that we have got available on the show today. If you've got any more questions or comments, you've got about 9 minutes remaining to get those in while we are here. Dingo says, just bought 20 12-inch Prisma pots. Well done. Dingo, that's to plant up all those plants that you bought from somewhere else, isn't it? Naughty boy. Let's move on then back to our favourite.
He's trying to atone by buying the pots from us.
He is. I love the fact that he messaged me as well. It's like he owned up to it, which I really quite enjoyed. Thank you so much, Dingo. We don't mind. You buy where you want to, but also make sure you come back here. So Helleborus Double Ellen Red. I'm going to stick with my Victoriana description. I think this has got a real... I don't know what I mean by that. Do you know what I mean by that?
I know exactly what you're saying. And I think because it's the colour, it's the kind of the texture, the look of it. In fact, you could wear that flower on on a jacket, couldn't you?
You could. I mean, that would be a wonderful buttonhole, wouldn't it?
Yeah, because it is so beautiful, that flower. But what is bizarre is these aren't indoor plants. These aren't house plants. These plants, I mean, look at the flower on this one here, Bex. I mean,
yeah, it's beautiful, isn't it?
It's sort of in the most brutal time of year. I mean, we're coming out of winter now, but it's the coldest, meanest, awful time of year, and these beautiful, stunning flowers decide to flower right now, and that's what I adore them for. That's what I love them for, because what other flowers are out there looking so dramatic, so stunning, so beautiful at this time of year? I mean, we've got a few things coming out now, but nothing really compares to the grandeur and the joy of Helleborus flowers late winter into early spring. They're long lived, they're super drought tolerant, they will seed about and spread, they will form bigger clumps that you can split and divide eventually. They've always got leaves on any time of the year, so they're pretty much evergreen. They're drought tolerant, they will droop during a really dry summer, but they don't die. As soon as the rain comes back, they pick up again. But grow these with things like snowdrops, aconites, crocuses, perhaps the little miniature iris reticulata, and you just create a beautiful bucolic, if you like, spring kind of scene.
There's a good word. If you were buying the Christmas Carol Helleborus that we were bringing you back in sort of November and December, perfect partner for that as well. You know, you could have that lovely combination of Helleborus colours going on. Dahlia's next, did you say? Oh, Dahlia tubers, the hybridisers we're going to next, which is 630005. You're going to get 10 of the tubers in there. Can you grab one of the tubers and show how weird they look?
You're not going to drop it, are you?
I might. They're very odd looking. Okay, so that's what a Dahlia tuber looks like. And this one's a bit more obvious in actual fact. You can see where the stem, the growth of that Dahlia tuber previously was. So you're just going to pop these up. Use any old pot that you've got. Keep them frost-free. Put them under... and only to about here, to be honest with you. I'd probably just cover that with compost.
Yeah, just literally cover the tubers.
That's obviously where it was chopped off before. A little bit of water, not too much, because you don't want the tubers to rot. This is the problem. Dahlias don't like sitting in water too much and they will rot. But a little bit to get them going, and it'll be amazing how quick you start seeing those shoots come up.
Just make the compost damp. It doesn't need to be kind of really sodden.
Yeah, you don't have to soak it, do you?
Yeah, just make it damp and give them warmth as well. That's what's important. Nice bit of warmth, consistent warmth as well. Yeah. And then within a few weeks you'll start to see those shoots coming through. Dahlias originate from South America, so that gives you an idea of the kind of places they're used to grow in. So they like that bit of warmth earlier in the year. But the mix we've got here is spectacular, because you've got all different flower shapes in there, you've got different flower colour, you've got different heights, and these are going to bring you joy for a good 6 to 8 weeks, if not longer. And with a bit of TLC, you can take the tubers through from one year to the next and keep the display going.
It's so easy. And so beautiful to get loads and loads of colour in your garden. 630005 if you want to go for the Dahlia hybridisers in the 3 for 2. Remember, there's loads of them. The tuberose and the black calla lily and the freesias, and then you've got the ginger lily and you've got the flame lily. So those are all available in that 3 for 2 selection. So make sure you're making the most out of your basket and getting some freebies. We've also got the red hot poker, which I think I've talked myself into getting. Not that it takes much talking into at all, because these are really quite stunning. And I like the fact that you could probably grow these in pots as well as in borders.
Yeah, grow them in a nice big pot. And these are a blast from the past, but in a good way, because these were really popular in the 70s and the 80s. I remember them as a kid growing in my next door neighbour's garden. I was fascinated by them. I liked the way they started off orange, and then as the flower matured, the base of the flower became yellow.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, and you can see where they get the idea of a red hot poker. I mean, it's we had a coal fire when we was a kid, so I can really visualise why they called them that. And they flower over long period of time, and you can see in the picture there, you've got some smaller flower spikes further down, but these will grow in really punishing kind of places where other plants won't, so they'll grow in quite poor soil, they'll grow in really dry soils, long-lived, come back year after year after year after year. Just deadhead them, take the, the old flower stems off and they're finished flowering, and all you really need to do with these is about mid-spring, just go around the edge of the clumps and just take off some of the outside straggly leaves. Don't really strip them back, just take some of the outside leaves off, and other than that, just leave them, forget about them, but most of all, just enjoy them.
Yeah. Oh, did you say this? The pollinators are going to really enjoy it.
They go berserk for them. They love them.
They really do. Like, it's one that they absolutely love. And that's another reason why I'd quite like to get that one in my garden as well. 5 of those bare roots you will be receiving. We don't have them here at the moment, so I can't show you exactly what they look like, but they're going to be a bare root plant. So give them a good soak, just like Adam's been saying and Simon has been saying with bulbs as well, but definitely with bare roots, you absolutely have to soak them. Probably only for a couple of hours, 2-4 hours, something like that. You can soak them overnight if you want to, and then get those planted. If you don't want to plant them in the ground yet, that's fine. You can start them off in pots, or you can keep them in pots if you want to. But I just like the value for money we're getting with those, because it's less than £2 a plant. Particularly as a club member at £8.49, you're getting an amazing value for money. And they're quite long-lived, aren't they?
Oh, yeah.
They go for years, right?
Donkey's years, 20, 30, 40 years a clump of these will survive.
Those are, well, I'm having them, that's it. You've talked me into it. They're going in my basket today. Right, where can we find Adam on social media?
There you
Here's
go.
where you can find him.
Adam.Woolcott on TikTok, Adam.Woolcott on Instagram, and you can also find me on YouTube.
So please go and give Adam a little follow, because he's got loads of tips to share with you. Obviously, he's got a wealth of knowledge and has been gardening for many, many years, and he's won some awards as well. You can find me if you want to as well. I am on Facebook and Instagram as Rebecca Bex Edwards, or Bex Edwards My Garden. If you search Bex Edwards, I will come up. And also I'm on TikTok as Bex Edwards too. We will be live on TikTok later from the YouGarden page from 1:30, if we can get switched around and eat some lunch and have a quick wee in between. We'll be there from 1:30.
Any particular order?
No, do whatever order you like. So we'll be there for 2 hours this afternoon. It's a little bit different to how we do things in here, but it's quite good fun. So I'd love you to come and join us on there. Amanda, I know she comes and joins us. There's a few of the regulars from YGTV who come and join us on TikTok as well. So if you want to come and join us, you can do. Thank you so much for your company, your comments, your questions, your orders. If you've just joined and you're thinking, hang on a minute, I've missed it, it's fine. You can rewind, you can watch again, you can catch up on the website, you can catch up on Facebook. You can always catch up wherever you like. Make sure you are using the code YGTV0625 is the code for this week. They normally stay active for a week or two, so if you are catching up, you can still use the code, but they do run out at a certain point. They get changed every week, so don't worry about that. I will be back. I can't even remember. I'm back on Thursday. When are you back?
I'm back on Thursday as well.
Are you here on Thursday?
Half a day with you, yeah.
Lovely.
I think,
So it's me and Adam next Thursday. If you want to come back and join us, and it'll be a whole new show. We'll have loads of different items on there as well. What else do I need to tell you? Make sure you've joined the club, please. Make sure you're looking at becoming a club member. Lock in the price that you pay for that club membership. Keep that auto renewal going. And yes, as Simon was commented, don't let your payments lapse, as in your card. If it's going to run out of date, make sure you keep that updated so you keep your membership going. Thanks so much for all your company. It's been wonderful. I've thoroughly enjoyed it. Lots of love to you, and see you soon. Bye.